All right, everybody. I'm just going to turn the music off because it sounds like everybody in the chat is like annoyed. You know, I don't know. Part of the reason I always do that is just because I like to get myself into the right mood. But I don't know. It looks like the chat's not happy, so we'll just unmute everybody then. Sorry.
I was reading the chat the whole time.
No, I don't know, man. Like I try to do something that I like, and everybody hates it. So.
No, it's all good. You keep doing it. You keep doing you.
So screw it. Y'all know who I'm here. You don't want to hear no music? I'm here. Let's introduce everybody else.
Oh, we're really pissed off the host, and we're not even a minute in.
We just started.
So where do we go now? Where do we go?
We introduce each other.
Where do we go?
Oh, hi, everybody. I'm Eric. Welcome to the stream this week. Super excited to talk about we're not just going to be talking about cup stuff, I assume. We're going to talk a little bit about Eldora yesterday. I know y'all did a reaction stream. A reaction stream last night. But I'm sure there's still more to talk about. So we'll talk about pretty much everything y'all could ever want. Send us questions and stuff in the comments as well, and we'll try to read some of those later on. But I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to chat with everyone. So hi, everyone.
Yeah, I guess I'll go next. What's up, guys? It's oh, you interrupted me. What's up, guys? It's Black Flags Matter here, aka Darian Gilliam. Yeah, we got another show, another podcast today on a Thursday. I think this is the first one we've ever done on a Thursday too. So, yeah, so we had a pretty good Eldora race yesterday, and yeah, we're gonna talk about that. And yeah, and there's also I guess there's a cup race this weekend, but you know, it's probably not going to overtop the Eldora race and stuff, but it might. So, you know, tune into that as well. And now over to Jarrett.
What's up? Today has been an awesome day. Like, I'll be completely honest. 10 years since Avatar, so everyone pay respects to Team Avatar. Clone Wars coming back. Oh, yeah, and Eldora was last night. And who could ever not hype up New Hampshire? Yes. Kentucky. Woohoo. I'm pumped. Let's go. What do we got? We got 66 watching, 26 likes, and 1 dislike. We need to fix that ratio. Lick the like button, everybody, and say hello to our special guest. Introduce yourself, because I think I'm seeming a little more awkward. But I did not mess up speaking. Boom.
How's it going, stream? I'm RawGator. I make NASCAR memes.
His mic's off.
Your mic's off, man. That was funny.
Yeah,
Am I muted?
because when I was trying to like mute everyone's stuff there at the beginning, I couldn't do anything with it, so I don't know really what's happening with him exactly.
I think he's back. Here we go.
Am I muted?
Test 2. Let's go.
Say something.
Sing.
Am I muted, guys?
What did you do? What did you do?
He looks good over there, but
Wait, try now. Try
Sign
now.
language.
Try it now.
Hello?
There we go.
Hey, I was just muted, I guess. Anyways, you know, thank you for having me on, you guys. I'm RawGator. I make NASCAR memes. I've made them for about a year, and just recently my channel has really started to take off, and so I'm really thrilled to be on here today.
we are excited.
Apparently the chat said they were hearing him the whole time. We weren't, though, so I don't know what was happening.
We're professional.
Really?
More professional.
How'd
Yeah, I
that
guess
work?
they said they can hear, but yeah.
Is he streaming this right now? Are we on his channel and we just don't realize it?
Well,
I'm
we're
not
all,
streaming it.
we're obviously not on my channel because I was kicked off.
Oh man,
Everyone keeps
that was pretty
putting
funny.
face reveal, and 3 weeks later, slide job still going.
Yep.
Is this
Yeah.
like your official face reveal?
You know, I guess I've done live streams on my channel back at 1,000 or 2,000 subscribers, but you know, this kind of counts. So
Oh,
big
Joseph's
moment for
tag in
everyone.
the chat. Bobby Allison will be on next week. So
Next week, guys.
ooh.
Yeah, he'll bless us with his presence for a little bit. Well, not really his presence, but a phone call.
And I think we also have another guest coming in tonight. Danny, who are we having tonight?
Yeah, so we're also going to be speaking to a guy named Daylon Barr. He's actually a photographer in NASCAR Media, so we get to hear from a unique perspective that we ordinarily wouldn't hear much from.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Oh yeah. All right. What do we want to talk about first? Want to talk about Eldora or Kentucky?
I got something I want to talk about first. I want to bring up.
boy.
Keselowski was talking about, the whole point situation and stuff. So let's get into that really quick.
Oh, I
Yes.
saw what you tweeted and did not see what he tweeted.
So I don't know. It's like that one some journalist lady. I can't remember her name. She
Kelly
was like
Crandall?
saying, yeah, she like wrote that article about the playoffs are broken and stuff, and we need to have it needs to be, I guess, readjusted or fixed or something like that. And then Keselowski replied, I don't know. I can't remember what all he said, but basically what he said was like only wins should like count or something like that, and points are dead pretty much.
Here it
Something
is.
like that.
Interesting conversation on my Twitter feed about the way we award a NASCAR champion. I'm curious, what do you think we should be more important to be considered the best driver/team in racing? Most wins or lowest average finish, which is basically most points in a season.
And and what I thought was super interesting about that, he posted that poll, and with how much criticism we hear people give the chase and the playoffs, I expected most people to say B, or the most lowest average finish, or whatever, most points. I figured that's what they would want. But if you look at the results, I think it's like 55% say most wins, which is basically what the current playoffs is. And I was shocked too. Because I'm like one of the few people that actually will defend the playoff system to a point. I mean, like I've said, I'm always on the fence. We could go back to 2002 and I'd be happy. We could go back to 2007. I'd be happy. We could stay with what we got and I'd be mostly happy. But I was shocked to see that. I mean, I know it's a slight majority, but it is technically the majority of people are okay with rewarding wins more than anything else. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, Flying Gator brings up a good point. He said when Brad says wins should matter, and he has none this season. So it's really interesting. That's funny.
You got a lot of Gators in here tonight.
Yeah, but I mean, I completely agreed with the article and stuff. In my opinion, what makes a good season is if you finish inside the top 10. Like only the top 10 should matter right now and stuff. Like the other 6, like 11 through 6, like 11 on back. That's considered a bad season in my book. I guess depending on what driver and and what team you're with as well. So I don't know, like. If I was to pick a whole chase system or whatever, even though I'd rather prefer a consistent point system, the old Winston Cup standings, I would go back to the 2004 to 2006 standings. Just have the 10 best drivers, fight out for the last 10 races in the championship.
You know what my theory is too, to why it's so different than we thought it would be, and I don't think it will change too much, but I think is that he kind of just the second option was sort of reworded. It's like the same thing, just reworded differently. And I'm wondering if that's people were like, well, that doesn't sound good, not realizing it's literally the thing they've been asking for. I mean, I've noticed that with other kind of polls and stuff. I mean, you look at when they do stuff on different news channels or whatever, they'll reword something a different way. Or when they do testing in schools or for job interviews or whatever, they reword questions to see if there's different answers. I'm wondering if that's what he did, or if it's just that NASCAR fans are that hypocritical, or it's that loud of a minority.
I think it's worth noting too, this is posted to Twitter, to social media, so it's fair to say that more of the younger generation of fans are probably seeing this than the older generation. So there's probably a little bit of a bias in that poll, because I'll bet very few people over the age of 50 or 60 are seeing that compared to people in their 20s and 30s. So I think there's a bias there. So you can't read too much into it, but it definitely feeds into the point I've driven home for months now, that NASCAR fans are basically 50-50 split on every major issue. That's basically
pretty much.
Yeah. It was like I think I put something on Twitter last night about like Charlotte putting an AstroTurf, and I'm like, it's good. Like if that somehow fixes cars getting torn up, I'm for it. But if not, at least I tried something.
Yeah.
And then it's like I forgot someone said something else or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, we'll just wait. In like a month, all the like half the NASCAR fans will be pissed about it for some reason, no reason whatsoever. But it's like that's just how NASCAR fans are. It's terrible. Like you could probably ask people, it's like, do you like that there's 400 laps in this race and it'd be 50-50? Do you like that the Daytona 500 is 500 miles? And there'd be half of NASCAR fans would find a reason to be upset about it.
Should the numbers stay on the side of the doors or should we put them on the rear bumpers? Nope, 50-50. I don't know.
Isn't that what Burton did? Isn't that what Harrison Burton did a while back?
I saw something like the ARCA series or maybe it was the K&N series where people were trying to put numbers in slightly different places, and it kind of looked okay on some cars. I haven't seen it. I don't know. I remember seeing that recently somewhere, but it was.
I just want to give a
Georgia said, yeah.
I want to give a quick shout out to the funniest comment I've read tonight. We got Bob Ross, Thick Boy, Budget Bubba, and Dale Jr., and finally a memer. What incarnation said that?
Oh man.
Wait, I'm still Bob Ross? God
yeah.
Dang it. Why is that? Why do people
I take it I'm Junior. Wait.
I wonder who's Bubba.
I don't know.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know, man.
Obviously RawGator.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
Obviously it's Bubba.
Yeah, so like RawGator, what's your opinion on the whole what Keselowski said and all that?
Well, I think I actually voted more wins because it obviously, if you're winning races, then you have not only a good race team, but a good car for most weeks. And let's say, maybe an engine fails or something for, I don't know, a race or two in a row. That's obviously going to bring down your average finishing position, which is actually kind of unfortunate for some drivers if that were to happen to them.
Yeah, but it wouldn't a flaw in that, whole system, only wins should count and stuff, wouldn't that actually make it a little more boring? I mean, way more boring than than it would be with the consistent playoff system. Because let's say, you come down, you're down to the final 3 races and stuff. And, the guy already has the most wins, mathematically, there's no way the other guy's going to catch back up. I mean, wouldn't that be a problem?
Yeah, I could definitely see it as a problem, but I don't know, kind of it's sort of like what would happen in the old chase formats where maybe a guy could clinch up the championship a couple races early, and so it's kind of almost that same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
Yeah, I think. Oh, what was I going to say? Gosh, I completely lost my train of thought.
Yeah, you turned into Jared there.
Oh, yeah, wow. I started reading the chat, and that just is like a black hole.
Interesting comment here from Sandro Dulis. He said, so I'm a NASCAR fan from Europe, and none of my friends watch NASCAR. I tried to explain to them the playoffs. He was like, why do they make this so complicated and not just go by points? I mean, people from other countries are even noticing that.
Yeah, see?
Did you guys... I think I showed you guys. I don't know if the chat saw. If anyone goes on Reddit, we made Urinating Trees Reddit page, so that's pretty cool.
That was awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was like, damn, that was quick.
I remember what I was going to say. I was mentioning the rewarding wins versus rewarding average finish. I remember specifically in 2013, Matt Kenseth and Kyle Busch got off to a hot start with Gibbs. They were winning a lot of races, but they both blew 2 engines each within the first 10 races of the year or 12 races of the year. And as a result, Toyota, TRD or whatever, went back and they actually a third of the way through the season completely toned down their engine package, and they stopped winning quite as often, but they also did not blow an engine for the rest of the season. And at the end of the day, I think Kenseth and Busch were second and third in points at the end of the year. So they almost won the championship because they realized points were more important than wins in that sense. And I think that's, I mean, it's almost like, I don't know. I could see either way. I like rewarding wins. When they first introduced the chase in 2013, or it was 2012 or 2013, one of the years where they decided they were going to rack up when they restacked the points. It used to be you'd restack the points based on just where you were in the standings, but then they were like, no, we're going to restack the points when the playoffs start based on how many wins you have. And I remember thinking then that I hated it. I was like, I don't like that they're making wins.
I think that was 2007 That was
It was it that
2007
early?
they started.
Was it really that early? I thought
That's when they like started
ESPN
that.
came in.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was way earlier than I thought. But something I know around 2012, 2013 is when they did the thing where we'll let 10 guys in, but then the last two spots, 11 and 12, are determined by how many, if you have a win or not. And that was like, okay, whatever. But even then, I remember like being really like against it back then. But it grew on me over time to the point where nowadays I wish that was still the playoff format because I feel like that makes the most sense. But that's all I was gonna say. I don't have anything else to talk
I think
about.
the problem with it like now is like, you know, some want consistency and others want wins. It's like you can't evenly reward both of them. Like you kind of just got to pick one or the other. It's like you can reward it all on wins like we do now, but there's really not a way to reward on wins that I don't think a majority, like I wouldn't even say a healthy minority of the fans would even like. But then at the same time, like if you reward on consistently like the old system, the old fans and a lot of like old-minded fans like me might like it, but then newer fans that have watched the sport over the last 15 years are not going to like it as much. So it's like they sort of painted themselves in a hole at this point, I guess, or dug themselves in a hole. I don't know why I said painted, but I'm spacey today. I'm happy. You know, like Flying Gator said, Iceberg has had a great nerd day. It is beautiful nerd day.
What a nerd.
But yeah. Oh yeah, I fully admit to it. But yeah, I mean, you see my
Speaking of
right there.
Speaking of nerd day, I did get a new toy. I upgrade. Well, I don't. Yeah, we'll just call it an upgrade because I'm sure these guys would say I went from Xbox One to PS4 today. So now we can actually all play as a group together.
Welcome to the future.
Yeah, welcome to the league.
I think
Welcome
they're
to
all
the
kind
league.
of past at this point, but
Yeah, welcome to the
You're the
league,
last
Danny
of
B.
us.
It's going to be great, you know, beating everyone on the podcast in the league now. It's gonna be awesome.
Ooh.
Awesome. I can't wait. Yeah, but I guess back to the playoff system for a second. I think if we want to, you know, try and keep everyone happy, I don't think, you know, we will. But I mean, this would be a good idea, in my opinion. Just go back to the 2004-2006 format. I mean, you know, it was still based on points. You know, you still need the most points to get into the top 10. You know, wins still mattered because, you know, you would need to win so many races in the final 10 races of the season and stuff too. I mean, I remember watching that. Like that was the first year I watched NASCAR. The 2004 chase was the best chase of all time. The like best chase or playoff, like, you know, final 10 races of all time. Like just try and just give me another one that was better.
And you look at like, and granted, it's a small sample size, but during the year, I think it was like the top 3 or 4 in points that were throughout the year were competing for the championship. Like you had
Jeff Gordon. You said
Johnson,
Jeff Gordon,
Jr.
Johnson,
and
Jr.
Kurt Busch. Yeah, and then Kurt Busch was 4th. Like a lot of people don't remember that because they like to rip on 2004, but it's like Kurt Busch was right up there too. Like he was no slouch that year. And then 2005, the best team ran away with it with Tony Stewart. And then 2006, you had Johnson, Kenseth, Harvick, Hamlin, and Jr. Those guys were always up in the top 5 or 6 in points all year. So it rewarded both the best year round. Granted, like it wasn't. I mean, Kurt Busch wouldn't have won the season-long championship, but it's like the other 2 years they would have if you look back at it. But it's like, so I mean, I never really minded that one. I guess as much as once they started just adding basically gimmicks to it, whether it be ordering by wins and bonus points for wins, and then adding in the wild card, and it's like,
yeah, you know, I could live with the old chase, like the first chase format that came out. But then when you start adding gimmicks, like, you know, the whole win and you're in thing, not only is that just, I don't know, it's just bad in my opinion, but you're going to have drivers that are going to find flaws in the system. For example, Chris Buescher, ring a bell, and Austin Dillon this year, who's not even in the top 16 to begin with.
Last year.
Yeah, last year. Yeah, Austin Dillon 2 years in a row.
Allmendinger, Marcus
Right.
Stenhouse last year.
Oh, Marcus Ambrose didn't make it. I don't think Marcus Ambrose didn't make it.
I thought he made. Oh no, that's right. He didn't win that one. No, no, Eric Almirola.
Yeah, exactly.
Back when he
So
was with a bad team.
I mean, yeah, exactly. So I mean,
look at last season, Logano and Boyer missed out, and because of the fact that Austin Dillon and Ricky Stenhouse made it in.
Yeah.
I guess the one question I have for everyone on the panel right now, and this is for everyone, like I know there's like, you know, the media, they're obviously going to focus on, all, the bubble spots, like, 15 through like, on back to see who makes it. Because I think right now, Bowman's only 9 points ahead of Ricky Stenhouse, but I got to be honest with you. I'm not even paying attention to that much. I'm only focusing on the top 10. I got to ask, are you guys doing the same with that? Or
in the long run, even as an Alex Bowman fan, I know that it doesn't matter. We're not winning the championship.
I kind of, I see where you're coming from there. I like looking at it only because there are some pretty big names that, like, up for grabs right there. There's the drama with Stenhouse that he's found himself in. So if he makes it in, that's a story. Bowman, it'd be a great season if he could make the playoffs. Even Johnson, Chase Elliott, or like I'm watching it because there's a chance of dramatic failure by either Jimmy Johnson or Chase Elliott. And if one of them misses out, it would be a huge story. And that's the only reason I'm watching, because if we go back to the old format, they wouldn't even be close anyways. But even the fact that in this current format, where half of these full-time drivers make it in, if they missed, I'm watching it for the potential of failure.
If Bowman can make it in, I guess in a way that, hey, one thing you can take away from that, that's an improvement for the 88 car, because Junior didn't make the playoffs last year. So
yeah, I guess.
I'm kind of rooting for Johnson or Elliott to miss it, just to stick it to Brian France of how stupid the system is.
Just one of them.
The fact that one of those two, who granted have run mediocre this year, but are still running better than a person who was locked in since day one. I just nothing like other than maybe a 0-win driver getting the championship. Imagine that. Imagine Chase Elliott or Jimmy Johnson, one of the two that does make it or doesn't, wins the championship with 0 wins. Oh, Johnson wins 8th championship with 0 wins. Can you imagine? Like,
I hope it probably won't happen, but that would be so funny.
Brian France will be found the next day dead from alcohol poisoning.
I want to bring up a brief point that's kind of off topic, but I've been thinking about this. This kept me up last night, and I don't know how the best way to put it because I don't want to make anybody angry.
Ooh, it should be good. It was keeping them up last night.
I was sitting here thinking,
losing sleep over this, guys.
Yeah, I really did. And it kind of ties into what you just said about how you're kind of rooting for Johnson or Elliott to miss the playoffs because you want to stick it to Brian France. And I kind of agree. I think it'd be hilarious if fan favorite Chase Elliott misses because your stupid format let Austin Dillon in. That would be ridiculously hilarious, but it would be bad for the sport. But here's what I was sitting there thinking about the other night. And I want to make sure I say this correctly, and I might have to backtrack here and there to make sure I say this correctly. But I feel like part of what's hurting NASCAR in a broad sense these days is that some number of fans, and I think they are actual fans, aren't intentionally doing this, but subconsciously they are rooting for NASCAR to fail because they want to be able to tell Brian France and everybody, I told you so. Because I told y'all the chase was terrible, and look what it did. It made NASCAR fail. I told you the Gen 6 car was terrible, and look, now we failed. I don't think they actually wanted to fail, but I think some number of fans are kind of, sort of, deep down rooting for it. Just sort of. They may not know it, but I think they kind of are.
It's like,
and that's kind of was in my head.
Show.
Sort of, yeah.
What you're saying.
Yeah,
I get that.
So I don't know what y'all think about that, but
no, I actually, you know what, I have to agree with you on that. I do. I mean, maybe I don't want it to just be a total disaster and stuff, but I would. It would be cool to see Larson just win the championship after winning only one race, and hopefully that's the final race at Homestead. While Kyle Busch or Harvick don't win, even though they won 10 or something. I guess they're on pace to do that, but I mean that would be pretty cool. I guess.
Yeah.
I would think it'd be funny. I mean, it's
funny,
the same way that I was like, I don't like him, but I kind of wish Kyle Busch would win the 2015 championship just to show how stupid the system is, and he did.
He did.
I was just and then I look on these message boards. There's 1 or 2 people saying that was good, and then there's everyone else saying how dumb it is, and I'm like, all right, that I don't need to say anything. I got my validation. I get it, yeah.
And again, that's not Kyle Busch's fault. Everyone, I get comments from that. I get comments on my Kyle Busch video all the time. Well, he has half a championship and stuff. That's not his fault. That's NASCAR's fault, guys.
It's the system. Yeah.
The system.
And Kyle Busch perfectly, unintentionally.
He exploited the system.
Exploited the system.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be fair to Kyle Busch. I feel like he has won so much. He does deserve to be a champion. He has won so much in his career. He's probably even going to win another one before he's done, for sure.
Oh, definitely. Especially with the system.
I still don't know how he didn't win it like 2008. I mean, that was a great year for him.
Yeah, he choked that last 10 races of the season. He choked.
Yeah. Well, it's like everyone in the top 3 going in. Like the top 3 going in was like Kyle Busch, Jeff Burton Jr., and they were like in the bottom like 9 to 12 range. It's like,
Junior.
You played yourself. Like you guys
they were
awful.
terrible. They were terrible that last part of the year.
But you know what I noticed is the next year, all 3 of those cars were garbage.
Yeah.
Like Kyle Busch like won 3 races, but the rest of the year was garbage. So
Yeah,
it's like,
Junior was oh my gosh, this is how bad it got in 2009. In the Coca-Cola 600, he was like running 41st, 42nd, and he didn't get he didn't wreck, he didn't have any damage, he was just that bad. It was bad.
we don't talk about that. Anyway, back to happier stuff. What happy stuff do we got? RawGator, tell us something, man. There's got to be something happier, other than like I don't know.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Well, you know about that Kyle Busch where he missed 1/3 of the season in 2015. How many wins did he end up with?
4, I think 5.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
So I mean, even although he missed 1/3 of the season, I feel like it kind of made up what he didn't do in that time he was gone. With all those wins he got, he ended up getting just as many as almost anyone else. Without even racing all those races. So I feel like in a way he did earn that championship that he won.
Yeah, I mean, he did come out and, he did what he had to do. And he was, from the time he got in the car, he was very dominant. And I do applaud the entire 18 team. They did a good job of making sure they were still focusing on that car, making sure it was going to be competitive for when he got back in. Because, David Reagan got some really good runs out of that car, and it actually ended up getting him a spot with Michael Waltrip Racing the rest of the year. So, it was good for both parties really having that little partnership there.
Hey, we got 102 watching and only 49 likes. Lick the like button. This is an atrocious ratio.
Well,
Lick the like button, guys.
Now we're less than 100. It's been fluctuating between like 98 to 103 for a while here.
We'll just bank on it.
I want to say I agreed with you, RawGator, and also I saw who was in the chat? Caleb, I think, said it. I've always kind of thought Kyle Busch was okay at that championship because he did exploit the system. I think you guys are right. He exploited the system, but like he still at the end of the day did it by the rules. The only rule he quote unquote broke was the idea that you have to attempt to qualify every race in the season, and he didn't do that because he was injured. But he did still have to get into the top 30 in points. He did that, which wasn't easy. He did that. He won a lot of races, and then using the kind of wild card playoff format we have now, and thanks to Kenseth taking out Joey Logano, he was basically home free to winning the championship that year at that point. So I always thought I will forever identify him as the 2015 champion, but I understand why some people are going to disagree. I guess it just is what it is. There's also some Kyle Busch hate in there that I fall victim to sometimes, where I blindly will be mad at Kyle Busch and it ruins my opinion sometimes, but it's just so hard not to. I can understand why so many people have a hard time not losing it over Kyle Busch. God. So what's next on the agenda? Or do we have something in the chat?
Should we? How about we ask the chat? Eldora or Kentucky? What do you want to talk about? I already know the answer, but
they'll probably already give us the answer. And really quick,
1 for Eldora, 2 for Kentucky.
And really quick, I saw a bad season suggestion. I was dreading the day someone would suggest this. Harry Gant, 1987. He had 21 DNFs. I was dreading that. That's gonna be a long video. That's gonna be a long video. But I think he finished still top 15 in the points though. So competition.
Okay, look at the chat. They all want to talk about Eldora more.
Holy crap! Right. Yeah, Eldora.
Hold on 1 second. I gotta go get something. I will be right back.
Yeah. So talk about Eldora for a second, man. That was a good race from start to finish.
Crazy mudslinging, good time, boys.
I was only able to watch the qualifying races, the last chance race, and then my internet went out for about an hour and a half. When it came back on, I was able to watch the last 30 laps or so of the feature. So
that must have been what happened to you on the stream yesterday.
Yeah, that's why I kept cutting in out of y'all's stream. And after a while, I just gave up on it because my internet was chopping way too much. But I don't know. So I'm not. Anyway, I was just getting out of the way so you guys can have most of the floor on this topic.
You got to disconnect from that McDonald's Wi-Fi. I know it's real close, but
my Wi-Fi is pristine most of the time. Not this week for some reason though. I don't know what happened. I think it's because my
Dude.
lease ends in a couple days, so I think they've cut our bill short already. They've cut our like service short. They're like, you're out of here in 2 days, anyways. Just chop it off now.
Man, some of the guys in there, just the one-off guys, had some terrific runs. Who was in that 51? I can't remember their names. They were like dirt racers, though. Whoever was driving the 51 yesterday was having a good run. I know that the guy
was it Lacey, Levy, something like that.
I think so. I can't remember, but I know. I'm just gonna say their truck numbers. The 51, the 17 was up front before he started wrecking himself. But he was only like 18 though, and I know Sheldon Creed. He put on an exciting qualifying race in the beginning. That was really good. And even some regulars. Austin Wayne Self was running inside the top 3 at one point.
He was having a great run out of his truck, and who's some other people? The High Side Tickler. He was doing pretty good.
How do you have that name? Oh my god!
Like that is his actual nickname.
That's his Twitter handle. Oh my gosh! That don't sound right. It just don't sound right, man. And also just to point out, Cup Series regular Ty Dillon finished 11th.
He still didn't get that. I mean, he got a top 10 a couple weeks ago, but he still couldn't get
I
a top
thought he
10.
got a top 10. Oh gosh.
He finished 11th. Oh my gosh!
But
So
I will give it to him. It was aesthetically pleasing seeing his truck one. So
Yeah,
like driving like a late model does.
yeah.
I literally have 2 full things of fries right here. It's awesome.
Oh, lucky.
2 things of fries from.
Yeah, like these things.
Oh my gosh.
Are they carne asada fries?
They're just normal. Like,
So are you literally about to eat both of them?
Oh, and I got 2 pieces of bread, 4 pieces of chicken, and a piece of chicken.
All right, stop. Okay.
All right,
Okay.
we have Jared is on a carbo load here tonight. So
Kid from Georgia says Norm Bennig the GOAT. I assume we want to reference that.
I mean, he did just races. He raced his way in one of those qualifying races.
Yeah,
Finished
I saw
ahead
that.
of Noah Gregson, but he wrecked later in the race, unfortunately. So
Never left. Do it for Norm.
Oh, and Ben
Norm Bennig is my
Rhodes, dude. Ben Rhodes had an awesome truck, but then he hit the wall, and it just went downhill from there. He had an awesome truck.
it's all right. He won Kentucky. So
Happy birthday, Brandon.
Well, yeah,
Smart
happy
his
birthday,
birthday.
man. Happy birthday, man.
happy birthday.
But now that we talked about those guys, let's talk about that finish. Oh my gosh, that finish was amazing.
Really close finish. You can't get no better than that. I mean, hopefully another short track like Bristol can give us something exciting. But you know, it's gonna be hard to beat. Like
We've had a lot of good finishes the last 3 weeks. Like,
We have.
well,
I love
not
that.
not really the Kentucky Cup race, but
Well, I'm just saying in general.
yeah,
Like that's the biggest dud.
Been a good few weeks to be a NASCAR fan. So
Which do y'all see the thing that Tony Stewart and Dale Jr. now are putting it out into the public to get fans to get Eldora on Cup and Xfinity?
He also said,
I can see maybe Xfinity. I just don't know if they're gonna.
Yeah.
Make it up.
Okay,
the only
let's do
way I
this.
see Cup there is like an all-star race or something like that. You know, add a third all-star race during the season. That's the only way I see that happening.
I still say I would love to just see them bring back the Prelude to the Dream and get them out there in late models one time.
Right? I would love that.
I want to ask this about Eldora to the top 2 series. I want to hear both your inner fan, what you would say about that, and then like the realist of you, like in you, like the realistic person.
The
Because
fan
it's
in
hard to
me,
discern the two.
the fan in me obviously wants it. I don't know who wouldn't want to see these guys take on a dirt track, you know, in these cars that we've never seen them run on dirt. You know, that'd be really cool to see. But the realist in me, and I made a video about this the other day, the Xfinity Series, it's doable the next couple of years, 2 or 3 years. I could see Xfinity Series getting a thing here. But Cup Series is far from it. And I made that video, and I went back and forth with a lot of people in the comments who kind of brought up interesting points. You know, the Eldora only seats about 20 to 30,000 people, and a lot of it's standing room only. You're sitting on a picnic blanket on a hill, you know, versus even the smallest NASCAR tracks. I think Watkins Glen has the least amount of seating, and it's still around 40,000 permanent seats. That's not to factor in a lot of these tracks have a lot of space for camping and stuff. Eldora, I don't think it has as much space for that type of stuff. So just infrastructure wise, Eldora, you know, everyone says NASCAR's, you know, less fans. There's still on average race weekend, 50 to 60, 70,000 fans, most tracks, sometimes more, sometimes a little less, but still I think the idea that Eldora could replace another track on the circuit, like on a consistent basis, is unrealistic because it just doesn't sell enough tickets. But I think I agree. The only way we see it happening is an all-star race of some sort. And the fan of me loves it. The realist in me says we're still probably a few years from doing that. They're going to have to make some upgrades on their end. NASCAR's audience might have to shrink a little more.
Here's an idea I have, and I don't know what you guys think about this. The Coke 600 weekend, during the All-Star race week, the trucks race on the Charlotte 1.5 mile. What if on the Coke 600 weekend on Friday night they did another dirt track race at the dirt track at Charlotte?
Wasn't that an idea before? Like, oh, let's have qualifying at the dirt track and then we'll run at the All-Star race. I remember I read somewhere or I heard something from that.
Charlotte's been so boring since the repave. I think that'd be a way to spice it up because you still get the whole area into it, and if it's on the truck, because the truck's racing All-Star weekend or whatever, so
yeah,
it'd be a way to hype everything up and give people something new, while also hyping up the All-Star race later on. And if you get like the plates every week there,
I know this year they ran World of Outlaws on Friday night there, but I mean, shoot, that could be a fun little combination, mix in World of Outlaws and NASCAR Truck Series.
I guess I'll go. I was just gonna answer it really quick.
No,
So
obviously
the fan wants me to have it. Of course, who wouldn't? But yeah, let's look at this from a business perspective. Is Eldora gonna boost the Cup Series ratings up for that weekend? It probably will, but not by that much. It's not going to have some drastic change. Maybe the first year, but then it should probably even out once we make that a regular thing. And then look at this from another business perspective. Let's just say they take a cup race away from someone. Let's just say, all right, my home track, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, for example, since so many of you guys hate it so much. Vegas just took out seats, but it's still like 70,000, and they had and I think they almost had maybe 65 or 68,000 for the spring race. And Eldora only has 30,000 seats. So you're already going to be losing money anyways. I don't really see it being profitable. The only way I see it being profitable for NASCAR is if you put it on its own weekend for an all-star race or something like that. That's the only way I see that.
What do you think, RawGator?
Well, I think if it's ever going to happen, it has to be an all-star race because the track just isn't really big enough, one, for all the cars, and two, for the people that would be there. I think if maybe, since it's an all-star race, maybe 20 or so cars be racing on that track would probably get by, But as a regular race, I don't think that would ever happen.
And also, speaking of dirt races, I just found this out today on Las Vegas's website. So I didn't know this. The K&N race is going to be on their dirt track. So that's going to be interesting. So you'll see more stock cars on a dirt track. So, hell, maybe Deegan can win that one. So we'll see.
What I was going to say earlier was I do, since it seems unlikely we're going to see a Cup-sanctioned race on a dirt track in the next few years, maybe ever, that's part of why I have a lot of respect for guys like Kyle Larson, like Christopher Bell, Casey Kane, Tony Stewart sometimes, who go out during off weeks or even mid weeks. We'll just go out to local short tracks and do dirt, World of Outlaws races or stuff like that. I respect that a lot because I know that's not directly affecting or helping NASCAR, but it is helping build their brand and maintain some sort of connection with the grassroots people in racing around the country. And I think that's something if more guys could do things like that, which I saw, what did I see? Somebody tweeted at Ryan Blaney today asking, why don't you run dirt tracks? Oh, because you're too rich and pampered. You would never do it. And he tweeted back, I'm legally not allowed to. As in there's something in his contract that says you can't go race dirt races. You have to do stuff for Penske. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah. If there's more of that out there, then that's annoying. They shouldn't hold the drivers like that.
I can see that. And even, I think the thing with Chip Ganassi and them, they're very I think they have to be pretty lenient with Larson, but at the same time I think there is some concerns there.
Yeah.
From what I've heard. But with Penske, you never see Brad or Joey doing anything else but NASCAR. You're not going to see those two popping up like at random other races. Like, you know, when Logano was with Gibbs, he would go down and do like an ARCA event every now and again. He would go do some super late model stuff. You know, that's just how that team runs. You know, they can do that stuff, but that's not what Penske's about. Penske is about their NASCAR drivers being their NASCAR drivers. You know, they're.
And the big thing about
get what
that
people are
too
saying
is
in
the
the chat
Tony
is the
Stewart
safety.
effect.
I was about to
Yeah.
say that. Yeah, you can
The
kind of
Tony
blame
Stewart
Tony
effect.
Stewart. You can kind of blame Tony Stewart for that. He basically ruined it for everyone else from the 2013, you know, from his 2013
Yeah.
and stuff. And also, I guess another thing is I'm not really like, you know, a big follower of like, you know, dirt racing and all that stuff. But from what I hear, like some of those cars are just like insanely dangerous to run. Like especially what was the car that Tony Stewart was running? What is it?
It was a sprint car.
Yeah,
Sprint
like,
cars.
especially sprint cars, I hear are just super dangerous. So I
If-
can see why they would
if-
put that in the contract.
If me running a 410 sprint on iRacing gives me any clue of what it could be like in real life, yeah, it's pretty dangerous.
And I understand people are saying in the chat, like, yeah, I get why that, like, people, they stop Blaney from doing it. I get the safety is a big part of it. You know, Ryan Blaney's valuable to that company. They can't lose Ryan Blaney. You know, so it's kind of, I understand why it's there, but it's, you know, it's annoying because I think it is. That's why I do have a lot of respect for Bell, for Larson, for Kane, and those other guys, because they do still make time to do that, you know, on their own time. And I think that's a big way of building your brand. And I think it's good indirectly for NASCAR too.
Yeah, I see some really quick. Someone said, well, yeah, Friesen is running a dirt race right now and stuff. I still see him running dirt. Like, he's a dirt racer, but I mean, that's a little different, I guess. It's probably a much different contract. He is a truck series driver, so I'm assuming he can probably still run. So
it just depends on their schedule. I mean, you know, he's with GMS in the truck series. You know, they're all about young developmental drivers. You know, they still have the right to go out and develop themselves even more. You know, when you reach the cup level, you're a cup level driver at that point. You know, there's a little bit more expectation for you to not have to go out and develop your skills as much compared to somebody like Friesen right now.
yeah, exactly. I guess really quick. I guess on to the finish really quick. That was like one of the cleanest, best finishes I've ever seen. There was like not really that much bumping, just straight up racing. Racing. Like, yeah, there was a little bit of bumping here and there and stuff, but it's not
very
like
last corner you hit him pretty hard.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, it was very clean.
It was just fun. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I want to point this out. Like way before this finish, like last year, I was all for Chase Briscoe getting a full-time ride in the 60. I was all for that. I honestly, maybe this might help his case. Like, you know, Roush should give him that 60 car full-time. I mean, Austin Cindric, and then Ty Majeski. I mean, he's all right, but not like Chase Briscoe. I think could really fit that ride.
You've got 3 drivers fighting for the 60. Maybe Penske could consider making the 12 a more full-time thing for somebody, but you know,
I don't see that though.
one of these 3 is going to be left out to dry, I think, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think I've heard. I haven't seen much from Majeski in Xfinity. I know he's a pretty good that like short track driver. I've seen him win things. Like he recently won that race in Wisconsin, the Slinger Nationals. He recently won. That's a race that Eric Jones and Matt Kenseth have raced before. You know, that's a big name.
They were. I think Eric Jones was in that race this year.
Oh yeah, he was in that race this year and blew an engine, I think. So, but so that's a big thing to win that.
Isn't he the best iRacer? He's like number 1 or something like that.
I remember hearing that's how he got that's part of how he got discovered. Right. Yeah, but I don't know the full story there. But I don't know if Majeski. I do know for a fact Austin Cindric should never get a full-time ride in the Xfinity Series from what I've seen so far. But that's just me.
Yeah,
it's still hard for me. It's still hard for me to ever really justify the way Cindric won that road course race last year.
Well, you can't justify it at all. You just can't justify it at all.
Yeah,
man.
no,
I still see. Like when a few weeks ago when Kaz Gralla I think he couldn't race this weekend at Kentucky. Like a lot of people were still blaming Cindric for that. Like, oh, he could have used that win. I was like, wait, what? This has nothing to do with that. Like that's how pissed people are about that.
Kaz won at Daytona. Like, what does that mean?
He could have won. He could have won at Canadian Tire though. I guess that was.
But I mean, but he still had equal amount of wins as him though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I guess that's just how how pissed fans are, like at Cindric still.
Yeah,
it's interesting though. Well, so a cup race happened. It happened.
Which probably wasn't as bad as people made it out to be.
Honestly,
just let me say something really quick. I had to agree 100% with Eric. Some of y'all fans, I just don't get you. I just don't get some of you guys, man. Like, what'd you expect? Like, I was watching the race with my mom, and she was like, well, that wasn't like all like the greatest race and stuff, but I mean, it's Kentucky. I was like, exactly. Then I hop on Twitter. The sport's dying. The sport sucks. Like, NASCAR's not going to be around in 2 years or 5 years or something like that. What the hell is wrong with you guys?
Like, did you literally not watch the previous two?
We just had 2 great finishes in a row. 2. That's rare. Even in some of the greatest NASCAR seasons, having 2 straight weeks where you have 2 awesome finishes, like, that's rare. And I don't know. It's just like, I don't get some of you guys, man. Like, you guys, like, okay, we get 2 great finishes and stuff, but then the race isn't exactly like it's Kentucky. What'd you expect? Did you really expect Kentucky to be like this all-out historic, like, great race and stuff? Like, come on now.
And like, I called it. I mean, I got the winner wrong, but I called it. I said it was just going to go back to normal, really. So, and that's what it did.
Yeah.
I feel like probably the only reason people were kind of disappointed was because we just came off on 2 strong races, and so they were maybe expecting a little more out of Kentucky than what they normally would.
And also, just one more thing: if Blaney, he finished second, if he would have won, they would have had a different opinion on that race.
Yeah. Now it's funny. This year and last year, the last 2 seasons of Kentucky, something's happened. I've been doing something I haven't got to watch like at all, but from what I understand, I didn't miss anything. It was basically like last year, just Truex led the whole time. So,
I mean, it's a track. It's a flat mile and a half. Mile and a half, people give them crap, and somewhat it's warranted. But when the flat mile and a halfs are the biggest problem, you know, when Atlanta's a high banked, Charlotte's high banked, those tracks aren't too bad. Texas used to be high banked. For some reason, they decided to take some of the banking away because they're idiots. Chicagoland at least has an old surface, so that helps it out. But yeah, I thought the Kentucky race wasn't great. It wasn't super thrilling. It highlighted every problem with the current aero package that you could possibly want to see. It's the type of track where it was already iffy, and then you repave it, and then you put these cars on it, and it's not. There's no. In my head, I knew exactly how the race was going to play out. It was all about watching to see if a late restart happened. Because I will say restarts were fun. You know, you had a lot of guys not wrecking, which, you know, everyone's like, oh, we don't like wrecks. So you didn't have any wrecks in this race. Bowman was the only guy that really wrecked at any point in the race. You know, you had no real wrecks. And you had hard racing, at least on the restarts. Hard, fairly clean racing. So I thought those parts were fun. But yeah, I mean, realistically, the race was a 3-4 out of 10. You know, it wasn't anything too thrilling. At least Kyle Busch didn't win. Can we at least hang our hat on that? Because imagine
makes it a C-.
If Kyle Busch had won that race too, this would be whole. Yeah.
And also, I guess a huge shout out really quick to a guy who made his Cup Series debut last weekend, Jesse Little. I guess some people on Twitter were definitely questioning it, like, you know, like he hasn't even ran an Xfinity race. He's gonna suck in the Cup race. Well, yeah, like, I mean, the thing I was watching is he gonna cause anyone else any problems? I think he finished like 9 laps down or something like that. But, you know, when cautions came out, they weren't because of him. He kept clean. He minded his own business and stuff. And I was like, you know what? Like, you know, I mean, what was he running? Like Tommy Baldwin racing equipment or something like that? I don't remember what team he was running for.
It wasn't much. And I mean, if you know you're not in a fast car, you know, just stay out of the way. I mean, that's same thing can apply to our little NASCAR league we're doing. If I know I'm running slow, I'll stay out of the way.
And also, I did say on Twitter, I don't know if you guys will agree with me, Jesse Little, mark my words, he will be a future star in the Cup Series. I can see it. I can see it right now. Just what he's done with this, the equipment he has in the Truck Series. Just get this guy a top Xfinity ride. He's going to win a championship in the Xfinity Series, and then he'll eventually be a Cup Series star.
So somebody save that, because if this man is ever in like 10 years making a NASCAR bus video, we're all going to remember this.
Hey, you know what? Hey, you know what? I take risks all the time. I might be wrong. I mean, I did a video on Natalie Decker, for God's sakes, and I did one on Chandler Smith. So there's a strong possibility I'm going to be wrong on one of them.
I think everyone said basically everything I thought about the race. So
yeah,
ditto. Ditto.
So let's talk about well, this one ain't really more exciting. New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. Oh my God.
Yes.
Lobster.
New Hampshire, the race that Las Vegas stole away a race from them. So like now,
it's got to be a good race when the trophy is the most hyped up thing of the weekend.
The only
Pretty
exciting thing is a lobster that tastes good, and last year's winner was scared of it. So
let me tell you something. This is like a lot of people are saying like, oh, it's just gonna be another boring race. It's gonna I think it's gonna be better than New Hampshire. Well, no, I think it's gonna be better than Kentucky. It's not gonna be like maybe as boring and stuff. It might be a little bit better.
I'm interested in it only because it's so super different than any other track on the circuit. And I know we're not getting into predictions quite yet, but I don't think a Big Three driver will win this race. I know the Big Three drivers have won every race that hasn't been a restrictor plate race. I think this track is different enough because it's a mile, so it's not a big horsepower track, but it's also really flat. It's not like, Richmond, which has some banking. It's not like Bristol that has a lot. It's very, very flat. Your car has to turn. And that's a very specific handling trait that isn't really as necessary on other tracks, or it's not the focus. So I think it's interesting just for that reason. And I'm also going to be paying attention to the playoff picture because like we mentioned earlier and kind of joked, I'm curious to see if the Hendrick cars do fail to make the playoffs. If Johnson or Elliott misses, that's a huge story. If Stenhouse manages to get in there, or Paul Menard is only 23 points out right now in that 20.
And he was pretty fast at Kentucky though.
He's been pretty good last week. He's had flashes. So I'm going to be watching the points battle more than anything and hoping that a Big Three driver doesn't win.
You guys are going to laugh my pick out of the room. So when we pick, you guys are going to laugh at me so much. I'm not picking Bubba. I realize that is my
you lost that bet. You lost that bet, Jarrett. He's going to get a top 10. He's going to get a top 10.
I said he'd run around that range. I mean, he did just two. No, I also said he'd run around that range, and he did 2 laps down all night.
Oh, come on.
Boom. Technicalities.
Well, New Hampshire has given us some exciting moments in the past. We have seen, Robbie Gordon, Brian Vickers has got wins here that was pretty surprising. So, I mean, anything can happen, really.
But it has also given us some of our biggest tragedies. Adam Petty and Kenny Irwin come to mind. Yeah. And the 2000 fall race at New Hampshire. Oh my gosh. That I watched that recently just to see how bad it was. That was like, you guys talk about races being bad today. No, just watch that race and you'll like the races we have now.
Way to be a positive influence, man. Jeez.
Like, dude, I don't know. It's just bad. It was just so bad, man.
Well, it's like we're talking about all this stuff and this will be this. And it's like, yeah, and then we also had people die there. And then also on top of that, there was a horrible race afterwards. So
yeah.
Go to New Hampshire, yeah.
Just saying the facts, man. Yeah, but I guess are we gonna start making picks for it now?
Yeah, let's start off with maybe like our who do we think is gonna do bad.
Oh, well, I guess I'll go first here. Let's see, Bowman. Oh, man,
Bowman's got a fairly good short track program, so I don't know on him.
Bowman, I don't know. I think his confidence is down now, man. You had this huge lead, just for the last spot. And now you're down 9 points. I don't know. I think he'll crack, man. I think he's not going to have a good weekend. It's like he might be running well, maybe top 10, but then something's going to happen to him. Something's going to happen. Car gets wrecked in front of him. He'll get caused in it, involved in it, or let's say maybe a tire going down, which is, I think, what happened at Kentucky. So Bowman, he's not let's just say he's not on my fantasy team this week.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and say Kyle Larson could have a bad race.
Whoa.
His track doesn't seem to naturally fit his strong suits.
Yeah.
But I think he ran pretty well here, like one of the races last year. I think he had a top 5.
Didn't he finish second to Kyle Busch?
Maybe, but I
in
feel
the
like
fall race, I think.
Well, he could have a surprisingly. Maybe his expectations are high then, so he's gonna fail to meet those.
Yeah.
I don't know. Biggest disappointment. I don't want to hop on the Blaney bandwagon, but I feel like Blaney's kind of just been in a rough. I mean, I know he finished second this last weekend at Kentucky, but that was his first really good performance in a while. He's had some rough finishes lately, and I feel like maybe Kentucky. don't want to say Kentucky was a fluke because he has led a lot of laps this year, and so he's could be a contender down the stretch. But I feel like New Hampshire is just going to it's going to be rough for him.
He
also
should have
say
won
Johnson.
Bristol. He should have won Bristol.
Yeah, I'm really thinking he's my pick to win the Bristol night race.
I think because it seems just hasn't been on it this year, and it just seems like he manages to get bad luck no matter where he's at. I'm gonna say guy does bad this weekend. Jamie McMurray. I'm gonna go with McMurray with that one. Since I picked him at Daytona through the magical number generator.
He's been doing bad all year. This is his worst season, I think, ever. Or no, that was 2008. That was 2007 or 2011. Oh yeah.
Yeah, right after that really good 2010, he did bad.
And even 2010 wasn't
that year, and then
2010 he wasn't great.
He finished 20th, I think, in the points. He won 3 races.
I think he finished 13th or 14th.
Yeah,
he did.
He got 3 wins, but that's a different time of NASCAR. I'm curious what it would have been like if it had been this current format and him coming into the playoffs with 2 wins, how that would have been, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me, who I think is going to do bad. I don't know. I don't think Chase Elliott's going to have a good run.
Ooh. And he's only 35 points ahead of the cut line right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't see that great of a run. Maybe like a 15 or 20th run.
That'd be disappointing.
So you agree with Kid from Georgia?
What did he say?
I'm gonna make a bold prediction and say that Chase Elliott won't win.
Ooh, yeah, that's pretty bold right there.
Oh, that's pretty bold right there. Oh, he's 51 ahead. Well, we'll see if
in this point system, he could finish 20th, and the person could finish last behind him, and he'd still somehow lose points. So,
and also Paul Menard could get a win, and then all of a sudden you got 200 or 300 cars on the cut line.
Ooh.
Right there.
Yeah, but at this point, it's hard to really say that anyone besides the top 3 can get a win. So,
yeah.
So
I guess who do we got for sleepers?
Yeah.
Oh, sleepers.
Sleepers and underdogs are the same thing, right?
Oh,
basically.
Yeah, basically. Eric Jones, I said after his Daytona win, it would start this, this snowball effect. They were just going to start racking off these top 10s and stuff. And he qualified second at Kentucky. I was like, okay, let's see how he does. And he had some problems in the beginning, but he ended up finishing 9th in the top 10. So I was like, you know what? Maybe this is going to start, he'll probably start to show some more consistency.
He's got 4 straight top 10s now.
Yeah, 4 straight top 10s. So definitely my sleeper pick this week, Eric Jones for sure.
Going off that, I'm going to go with another Gibbs driver, but this one, and speaking of that point system that could get squirrely, I think Daniel Suarez is a guy to watch out for because the Gibbs cars have been very good at this track in the past. Kenseth was terrible at New Hampshire until he came to Gibbs, and then he won 3 times in 5 years at New Hampshire. Denny Hamlin's won this race multiple times, including last year. So I think Gibbs has good handling cars, and I think Suarez, maybe this is a week he could take advantage of it.
Cubs must be doing good.
Someone must be liking my pick back there.
Oh no, my mom's watching the Cubs. So yeah. Thanks for the cameo, Mom. Anyway, I'll go with my sleeper pick. And some people might disagree with this because I switched this from my pick to a sleeper because I was like, yeah, this probably is better. Anyway, Alex Bowman. Here's why. He's been good short track program this year. The 88 team is good at New Hampshire. When I say around that top 10 range, give or take. And he's good at short, flat tracks. I mean, you look at that race at Phoenix. I mean, he flat out dominated, should have won it if it wasn't for a BS precaution. I don't think he's going to win, but I could definitely see him as a sleeper for that, maybe a 6th, 7th, 8th place finish. So,
yeah, I remember towards the end of the Gen 5 car and a little bit with the earlier stages of the Gen 6, the Dale Jr. would always run really well at New Hampshire and Martinsville. Those 2 tracks seem to work really well for them.
And Junior is one of his worst seasons ever of his career last year. He's running in the top 10.
Yeah.
Last year.
So, I mean, I don't see why Alex Bowman couldn't get a top 10 this weekend. I mean, other than just bad luck or great guys.
He'll
supposed to be
run.
Great guys.
He'll be in like the top 10, but then something's gonna happen. I can feel it. Something's just gonna happen. He's just gonna fall back.
All right. My sleeper, and I feel like it's maybe unfair to call him this, but just based on, this being the year he's having, I feel like Jimmy Johnson can get a top 5 this weekend. I really think that they are starting to make some kind of steps in the right direction. And this one could be one where they kind of come back a little bit because they've still had some top 5 finishes this year. This could be a good run for Jimmy. I don't necessarily think he'll win it, but I think he could have him a good run.
Yeah, most definitely. I guess now we're on to winners.
Did RawGator get? Did you give?
He didn't get one.
Stop jumping the gun, Darian.
See, I'm always
Jesus.
jumping the gun. I'm sorry, guys. I'm always jumping the gun.
Well, I'm going to go ahead with my sleeper pick. It's actually Alex Bowman, and Iceberg basically stole the words right out of my mouth. I was going to bring up his success on short tracks, and specifically that one Phoenix race in 2016. Those tracks actually seem to be pretty similar. They're both 1 mile with pretty little banking, so I would not be surprised to see him get a top 10, or possibly, that's kind of a stretch, but possibly a top 5.
Jarrett said Hendrick Motorsports or RCR. Can't tell the difference.
I mean, you obviously see my shirt here. I'm hoping Bowman does good. I'm just not going to necessarily say he's my sleeper.
And I want to give a brief shout out or honorable mention to. I saw was it Beaker Bros in the chat said, or Biker Bros, I don't know how you pronounce that, said in the chat, Matt Kenseth's average finish at New Hampshire the last 6 races is 2.8.
You're pushing it. You're pushing
I don't
it.
think he's going to win, but if there's anything so far, Matt Kenseth has run, I guess you include the All-Star, 6 races with Roush. He's got 3 top 20, well, 4 if you count the All-Star, 4 top 20 finishes, but he hasn't yet run on a smaller track. They've all been at 1.5 mile or bigger tracks. So I'm curious to see. This could be his first chance to steal a top 10 in that car.
You're pushing it. You're pushing it.
IDK player, but wait, hold on. Is that RawGator?
Yeah.
Look at his other comment. I want one of you guys to read it. I don't want to break my cussing streak.
I'm not
RawGator,
going
why don't you read that comment?
I'm pulling it up right now. I haven't been reading comments.
I'll just say a safe version. Holy crap, Daddy Gator, right on.
Right on.
I don't know, RawGator. Do you know about the little thing we got going on where like I can only have 2 cusses per stream?
No.
Yeah.
Well,
if we
I
don't
can
know
only
then-
have. Yeah, I can only have 2 per stream. It's my little intervention, and I'm sitting at a solid 0. We're an hour in.
That's true, Nick Sant. I agree. I see that. That definitely makes sense, but I have high hopes. I think he could get a top 10 this weekend.
Yeah, if Jarrett can be nice and keep his cuss words down to 2, then Eric will feed us.
If depending on where he qualifies, I could see that happening.
Tyler Johnson asks, where is Bobby Allison? He is somewhere in North Carolina right now. He will be on the stream next week. We said the 26th, so
Yeah,
we said my birthday, guys.
Little shout out here, Daylon Barr, our friend he's a NASCAR photographer. He gets off work at his job at 9 o'clock, so right about now. So he has to get home, and then he'll be on as soon as possible.
Nice.
right on.
All right, so now we're on to winners. And IDK brought this guy up, and trust me, I wasn't sleeping on him. I said he was going to win. At this time last year, if you guys don't remember, Joe Gibbs had 0 wins leading into this race last year. It was crazy. And now, Kyle Busch has been winning everything. And, Eric Jones won Daytona, so you can count that as well. But, Denny Hamlin, he won last year, and he's going to win this year. He's going to win again. I think I can't remember who said it, but one of you guys said, I don't know, I guess the way this track's set up, we're not just going to see the big 3 run all in the top 3 all day and stuff. But Hamlin, he's definitely going to get his first win.
I'll get mine out of the way because my pick is also Denny Hamlin for basically, this reasons. I think Gibbs has been good at this track in years past. Hamlin won last year. He's I'm a little worried only because I feel like I haven't seen, like, where did he finish this last week in Kentucky? Like 12th or 15th or something like that. Like, he's been kind of irrelevant this year, so I'm a little concerned. We haven't talked about Martin Truex Jr. yet. I'm sure maybe one of you guys is picking him, so I'm not going to spoil anything, but he has been very good at this place. I don't think he's ever won. No, he's never won New Hampshire because that's the deal. He's never won it like a shorter track, I don't think.
Nope.
So I think it's worth noting. If any of the big three win, I think it'll be him. All the big three. It's kind of tough this weekend because it's such a different track, but Harvick, Busch, and Truex have all been good here before. So, it's tough, but I would agree. I think Hamlin's going to be my pick. Going to go out with that one.
Well,
I'm going to pick Hamlin too. I'm just going to get it out of the way. God. Ditto. Again, ditto. And then I'll also pick for last place Danica's monologue.
We'll get into that at the end of the show.
Yeah, you all thought I wasn't going to bring that up. I don't know. If you thought I was going to bring that up, I want to know what you're smoking.
I knew you were.
So, for me, I'm not going to go with Denny. Denny is going to have a good run, probably. Not my pick here. If you look here at the previous winners here, the most recent winner was another top three, Kyle Busch. He's not my pick, though. My pick is the man who won here back in the fall race of 2016, Kevin Harvick. I feel like he's going to get that sixth win of the year. It's actually, as sad as this is to say, it's been way too long since he's won now this year. I mean, just the year he's having, it's been too long. So I feel like Harvick is going to win at New Hampshire.
I'm just hoping to do a good seasons on Harvick this year. Wins 15 races, but not the title. That'd be the funniest good seasons video I've ever made.
Based on the trends, according to Tyler Johnson.
Yeah.
I really can't believe all you guys picked Hamlin, because in my head the whole time I was thinking, oh, Denny Hamlin, no one else is going to pick him. And then basically everyone here picked Denny Hamlin, so nothing new to say, but that's my pick.
So is that the first time that's ever happened? Everyone's unanimous?
I don't think anyone's ever picked more than like two. I don't think we've ever done like more than two at a time or something.
Wasn't entirely unanimous. I was the only different one.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Warm.
I don't know. I think I am a little surprised we all picked Denny Hamlin. I was this close to picking Truex, so I'm surprised. I don't know, how close were you guys to not picking Hamlin?
I was picking Kyle Busch.
All the way. I was picking Hamlin all the way.
I was close to Kyle Busch, and I was looking up some of the other stuff and thinking about it, and I started had a feeling, so I'm like, I'll go with that. No one's gonna pick Hamlin. And it's like, oh, darn.
Yeah.
Okay.
At first, I was really leaning towards Keselowski as well, and then I changed it to Hamlin.
He's not going to win.
Who, Hamlin or Keselowski?
No, Keselowski.
I'm nervous for Hamlin because now I feel like if we all picked Hamlin, Hamlin's got to had this date circled on his calendar. If he doesn't win this weekend, he's going to be a sad boy.
Yeah. All right, Hamlin, don't let us down.
Don't let yourself down, guy. This might be your only chance to win, man.
And okay, if he does win, don't be afraid of the lobster.
he might like just lift at the exit of 4 on the white flag and let Harvick or somebody pass him just so he doesn't have to.
He's like I don't want to touch that thing no more.
He's like, I'm locked into the playoffs already. Who cares?
So wait, so they get to keep that, right?
I think you're supposed to eat it.
Yeah, they eat it
as a pet.
Oh well, I'm assuming someone just kept it. Maybe
I
just
keep it as a pet.
Yeah, just keep it as a pet and just feed it.
Gosh. Okay, now I'm just curious here because I want to see like Matt Kenseth won 2 back-to-back. So now I'm just imagining Matt Kenseth has 2 lobsters walking around his house now.
I mean, what would you feed it anyways? I mean, I don't know what lobsters really eat.
LinkedIn.
I'd stuff it and use it as a hood ornament.
I would.
Okay, you guys see those?
I would I would just get someone to prepare it and then have it with butter. Problem solved.
I'd go to Joe's Crab Shack and they'd ask what I want. I'd be just like, can you stuff this in the whatever you used to make lobster?
Like here's a lobster. Here's $25. Go cook it for me.
I just need to borrow your oven for a few minutes if you don't mind.
Hey, Danny, how do you think Greg Galding's going to do this weekend?
Oh, is he back?
Someone said he wasn't racing. I don't think he's racing this weekend. But I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know whether he's racing or not. He's just Greg Galding to me now. So.
And Bubba, I have a bold prediction here. He is going to finish in the top 20, at least.
Woo!
Oh, wow. Edgy. That was edgy right there.
Give him some serious leeway, at least.
So So really quick, Jarrett, just any bets you want to make again, so you'll lose.
I make a bet.
You did make a bet last week. You said if Bubba got a top 10, I had to change my channel's name for a day.
Oh, well, I didn't have to do anything, right?
Yeah, you didn't have to do anything. It was just me.
Oh,
Now you get called out.
I was just making
Okay.
sure. So you got no bold predictions, nothing like that this week.
How about this? I don't think he'll win, but if Chase Elliott wins, you have to do the ARCA stream that comes after it, just in your underwear. How about that? You gonna take that one? Come on, trash
Okay.
talker. Let's go.
There's a couple problems. with that.
There's only so much.
Like you can't really see anything but his upper half right now. So
He could just be wearing shorts, and he could just come back from the pool and plop down. From
like
Maybe he needs to
what-
stand up and just like.
I
prove it. I don't
mean,
know.
what do you want him? What do you want him to do? Do you want him to rig up 2 cameras that has one here and one down there? I mean, like, how do you want that to happen?
I don't know. I mean, if he wants to talk trash like that, I'll just see like how much he wants to talk.
I'm
I'll
not
say
gonna
if
go
Chase-
to my, like.
Okay. You can't talk trash when it's something actually embarrassing.
No, but I'm saying like it's not gonna. I mean, I could say I'm wearing underwear. I mean, but I would just be like wearing shorts. You know what I mean?
Never know. They'll never know.
Okay, you know what? It's kind of it's pretty. It's kind of
Wear
stupid, but I'll take it. I'll take it. I actually have suspenders, by the way. I wore them for my graduation. I remember that. I was the only one to do
because
that.
I knew that no matter what happened, if I just kept talking, he would accept it.
All right, you know what?
I knew it.
Not only will I do that, I'll wear suspenders too.
Okay.
Just it's not gonna happen though. It's not gonna happen, but
Watch it happen. I'm gonna root for Chase Elliott so hard this weekend.
Imagine how anticlimactic it'd be if Chase Elliott gets his first win at New Hampshire.
No, he wins like by 25 seconds in a fuel mileage race.
Oh,
I'm
God.
like, oh my gosh. Ugh.
I don't know. Like that might be like the one thing people go from like, New Hampshire. People are like, yes, New Hampshire.
New Hampshire sells out the next year.
Yeah, knowing NASCAR fans probably.
And you know what? Knowing NASCAR fans,
I mean-
if Chase Elliott wins, they'll probably complain about it somehow.
I mean, I'll be honest. When Dale Jr. was having years where he ran really good at New Hampshire, I was actually liked New Hampshire, but now it's like it's New Hampshire. So
Well, it's fun to watch a boring race when your favorite driver is near the front.
It's like, oh, well, at least he's in the front. And also, I remember the first ever New Hampshire race I watched. It was when Junior, he had to get out, and Truex replaced him for that race. So I remember that too, because like a lot of fans were like up on their feet, just cheering, it's not a big deal now and stuff, but like now it's like back then they were like, oh my gosh, Junior's gonna get out of his car so Truex can get in. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, I remember that. Like nowadays, it's like oh yeah, like they got him in and out of the car. That's great.
Yeah, but I guess back then it was like a big deal. Like they were making such a big deal about it before the broadcast and stuff.
I've noticed the last 10 years it's happened more often too.
It has. I remember Hamlin and Vickers 2013 Talladega. I remember that.
Hamlin 2013, Hamlin 2014, Hamlin 2015, Hamlin. Yeah.
Larson 2016, right? Or
I think
was
so.
it 2015? Martinsville.
them.
He was like sick or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Regan Smith replaced him, and then Kurt Busch 2015. But yeah,
I like that back when Truex was all the hype. Like, what is he now? He won 8 races in the championship last year. What's Truex now?
He's old news. Back page of the magazine.
Wait, someone just asked like in all caps. Wait, how old are you? I'm 20. I'm turning 21. When's our live stream next week? It's on a Wednesday.
20 and a half. No,
Thursday.
yeah, it's a Thursday again.
Okay,
Same time.
So
And
yeah,
then
same time next Thursday. I'll be 21.
and as we established yesterday, I'm 42 years old. So
Oh
Wow.
yeah, he's an old head. Oh, we gotta.
Oh,
hey, so looks like we're being joined here by a special guest here now. He's currently got his microphone muted right now. So
We'll let him get adjusted.
well,
Yeah.
What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we're now talking here with Mr. Daylon Barr. Is that how you pronounce your last name?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're with Daylon
Jeez,
Barr here.
The last name's simpler than the first name.
Well, sorry, I wasn't like looking at it directly, so I was making sure I got it right. So Daylon here actually does a lot of photography for NASCAR, don't you?
Yeah, well, I'm licensed through NASCAR, yeah. And then I self-contract to all sorts of different teams and drivers and that sort of thing.
Right. So that's one thing that we wanted to get you on here because that's a very unique perspective that you don't really hear a lot from in NASCAR is the people who get those really high quality pictures that we see. And doing what you do, it can be probably really exhilarating. Like, have you ever had the experience of being right up next to the fence as a car goes by?
Oh man, that's one of the coolest things I get to experience is being right on the cutouts, right on the outside of the tracks. Like last year, and I'm excited for it this year in Pocono. There's a spot that you can go wander down to, out through like the jungle, basically on the outside of Turn 1 at Pocono. And I was standing down there right where they're hitting like 210, 211 miles per hour and then lifting off. And man, it's just the way those engines scream and are twisting up, and then you hear them let off. It's like it gave me goosebumps. I was all tingly.
I'd say so. So
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I mean, and it's I've shot on the outside of Michigan too when they go down into Turn 1.
Ooh, I'm sure
Obviously,
that's good.
they're pulling a little bit away from the wall there, so not exactly close. But Homestead, the outside shooting spots at Homestead are probably some of my favorite ones because they're running the boards. They're right there next to you. Bristol's pretty cool too, but it's fun, but sometimes it sucks because Homestead 2016, Mario Goslin ended up blowing an engine, and he was like right up in the high side, and it threw like hot oil all over me. So that kind of sucked.
Wow.
I've gotten my fair share of rubber pieces in my eyes. I actually had to go to the infield care center once because I got a piece of rubber stuck in my eye, so that sucked.
So that's another thing you don't think of. That's such a dangerous thing. I mean, you consider stuff like that, and super speedways. There's always the risk of something happening with the fence. I mean, so you've got to be willing to put yourself in danger to do that kind of work.
Yeah, absolutely. The super speedways, they don't even allow us to shoot on the outside, so that's one precaution. There's a couple tracks. The ISC tracks are kind of weird with shooting on the outside now ever since the Eric Almirola wreck, where the photographers were taking pictures of him getting cut out of the car.
Yeah.
So SMI tracks, they don't care. You can shoot like wherever on the outside, but ISC is a little bit weird with it.
Nicholas Blair in the chat, he asks, how do you get the car focused with the track blurry in the background, I assume is what he means. Do you do that? And if so, how does that happen?
Or does it have to do with the camera you use?
Well, I mean, it's not so much the camera, it's what you do with the camera. When I'm shooting that and I'm trying to get the car in focus and then blurring out the background, I assume he means like a side shot. I'm lowering my shutter speed down to where it's like 1/60th of a second, 1/40th of a second, 1/25th of a second or something like that, even lower sometimes. And when you do that, it's essentially taking a video of that length as a picture. So
okay.
I don't have a webcam, so you guys can't see me, but I'm sliding my arms from left to right here, or right to left with the camera. It's called panning. It's a photography technique. So when I'm slowing down the shutter like that, I'm tracking the car through my viewfinder, and it's making the background nice and blurry, getting all sorts of colors in there, or light streaks or something like that. And then if I do it right, the car comes up sharp and nice and in focus. And it looks really pretty.
Okay. So were you in Eldora last night?
I was. I actually, I didn't sleep last night. I went right from the track to, I showered right after leaving the track, and then I went to the airport. And I haven't slept since.
Yeah, I can imagine you probably got pretty muddy last night, didn't you?
Yeah. I was pretty dirty. Well, I come from dirt track, so I love that stuff, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm from the Northeast, from New York, so dirt track is in my blood. I like those modifieds.
How long have you been doing photography stuff with NASCAR or with racing in general?
So the first time I ever picked up a camera, and I just want to let you guys know that I'm 100% self-taught. I've never taken any photography classes, nothing in college, no art classes in high school, nothing like that. I was actually taking engineering classes in high school. But my first time shooting was Darlington 2015. That was the first time I ever picked up a camera. I wasn't shooting, I wasn't licensed. That was my first hot pass, so I went and just brought a camera, took pictures as a fan. And it just so happened that the next semester I ended up meeting Brandon Brown, Xfinity Series driver Brandon Brown, when he was making his truck start at Daytona. He ended up finishing 4th, and I said, Brandon, hey, let me come, because he goes to the same university. I'm like, hey, let me come down to Daytona with you. I'll bring my camera, take some photos, with you, that sort of thing. So I did that, and ended up finishing 4th. Real feel good story. If you guys ever watched that race or seen the replay of it, it was pretty dramatic how he finished 4th and avoided 2 big ones. Arguably caused both of them, but but I was there for that. And then his father, Jerry, who was the team owner, he ended up saying, hey, the photo thing, you want to come to the track, do like tweet for us, that sort of thing. So by Kansas that year, it was like the 5th race, because they didn't have Vegas on the schedule. I ended up going with the team to all the races, doing photography for them. And then last year, I started reaching out to some other guys about shooting for them, working on some deals, that sort of thing. And that's how it all came out, because Daytona was in 16. So at the end of 16, I started reaching out. I reached out to Spencer Boyd, and then in 2017, I ended up shooting for him. Now here I am. I shoot for Thor Sport, Hattori Racing Enterprises, Jordan Anderson, Robbie Lyons when he races.
So if you
whoever wants to hire me.
If you shoot for 4 Sports, you probably got some good stuff yesterday, didn't you?
Oh yeah. I'm still waiting on the photographer I had do it send me the picture of me and Chase in Victory Lane together.
Yeah, I was just about to ask really quick, but you I think you kind of all have already said it. Are you like personal friends with any of the drivers on the circuit, or?
Yeah, Myatt Snyder is one of my good friends. We hang out whenever we get a chance. Whenever I'm up in Charlotte, because I live down in Myrtle Beach, he comes down every now and then. I'm pretty good with Brett Moffitt. He actually mentioned bringing back his Beers with Brett thing. I don't know if you guys ever saw that or not. I guess it was like a video cast he did years ago when he was racing Cup stuff. He's like, hey, yeah, maybe. I said, Brett, you should do that again. And he's like, maybe you could get on there.
Hey, if he wants to come on here and have a beer with us, that's fine too.
I'll ask him about it. But
yeah, I turned 21 on Thursday, so that'd be fitting.
Ben Rhodes is pretty cool. I did his engagement photos with his now fiance Caitlin.
I'm sure that was good.
Robbie Lyons, Brandon Brown. Brandon Brown was my roommate for a brief time here at Coastal. But yeah, you start hanging out with these guys, and they start becoming more than just clients.
So I assume then that you were a fan of NASCAR before you started working there, right?
Oh yeah, my first race I was 2 years old. I don't remember much. It was Watkins Glen, 1998. It was yeah. I'm 22 years old, and this will be my 18th Watkins Glen race this year.
Wow.
Nice.
So,
Wow.
Some people are asking in the chat who your favorite driver is. Do you have an answer for them?
I was a huge Dale Jr. fan. Huge Dale Jr. fan. Loved him. Still love him in the broadcast, although I don't get to watch the broadcast often. But I've had a lot of people ask me this, like who my favorite driver is. And I get a lot of hate for it, but I actually am a huge fan of Kyle Busch now. I love how passionate he is, man. Like, I think the sport needs more people that have that passion and energy. Like, yeah, he's a sore loser, but I'd be pissed off if I lost too.
Yeah.
That's my take on it. So yeah, I'm a big Kyle Busch fan. Big Brett Moffitt fan. I like Christopher Bell. He's probably going to be one of the guys I like when he gets up the cup. Yeah. There's not many drivers I don't like. It's better to put
That's
it
a good
that
mix,
way.
though.
The racing fan.
So you kind of grew up watching the sport, kind of go through a lot of changes then, because you're about the same age as most of us. So we've all kind of seen a lot of the same changes. I know something we talk about a lot on here is opinions on the playoff format, things like that. What kind of, like, I know recently there's been talk about, like we were talking earlier about how Brad Keselowski today was mentioning how a lot of fans seem to like the idea that wins matter more than consistent points finishes. Kind of just what have you kind of seen as a fan for all these years with how the sport's changed, how the fan base has kind of changed its views on things, and what's kind of your opinion on a lot of stuff like that?
I love the playoffs. Love it. Absolutely love it. Can't get enough of it, man. I wish that they'd maybe expand the truck playoffs and Xfinity playoffs maybe by like 2 or 4 drivers. But man, I think it's so cool. They're actually trying to cater some stuff to the younger viewers, and I know that the old guard is kind of like, screw NASCAR. But I'm a huge fan of it. And everyone I talk to, I try to get them to see the pros of it. And so, yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I hope they change the schedule a little bit up, though. That's one thing I do kind of feel strongly about.
Yeah, I will. Oh, I'm sorry. Just wanted to ask this. I do agree with changing the schedule and stuff. As far as the playoffs, I think you and Eric are both insane, but that's just me.
Yeah, I'm definitely old.
I saw him fist pumping over there. I'm like, I must have said something right.
I'm like one of the guys on here that defends the playoffs, but I love it when we get guests that also defend them. Like we've had it a couple times where people come on, I love the playoffs. I'm like, I don't love the playoffs. Let me get that out of the way. But I'm one of the people that actually doesn't mind it and kind of likes it.
And I'm like super old guard with it. Like I'm like, they should go back to full season points. They should finish the season at Atlanta. They should, no green white checkers.
I see that too. I kind of enjoy the way that ARCA has other sort of mini championships within their entire championship. Like they have the short track challenge and the super speedway challenge, that sort of thing. So, I mean, if they did sort of a dual championship system, I think that could kind of work somehow if they did it right, which, I mean, it's NASCAR, so you can't really expect them to do anything right. But there's pros and cons to it. I'm a big fan of it. I like the change. It makes things interesting. And I'm pretty sure last year that Martin Truex still would have been the champion. So.
Oh yeah, I think your hot take literally just took Darian right off. He's literally just like he just disappeared.
He's got to take 5 to recalibrate.
Well, last night we were joking that it's the Unfriended Live edition.
So I gotta ask, like, what?
He said they're fixing his air conditioning.
Oh, jeez.
And that kicked him offline. Like, yeah, damn, my internet went out because the air conditioner turned off.
Well, his computer's fan was going off last night during the stream, and it was just like, "What's that sound?"
Yeah.
And Darren's like, "Oh yeah, my fan's going off, so maybe it overheated it."
It hurt my ears. I remember that.
So I gotta ask, when it comes to like the playoff stuff, then, in the chase, is this like your favorite form of it, or did you like the other ones beforehand? Like, how does that go for you? I guess.
Well, I'm a big fan of the playoffs right now because Brett has 3 wins, and that essentially makes him a lock for Homestead. And I really want to shoot a championship. But yeah, I think I like the current format right now better than any of the other formats they have had. Because even with like the first chase, you could still have guys that basically had it locked up by the end of it. By like,
Yeah, sorry, really quick, guys. They just needed to check my air conditioning really quick. Sorry. What was the question again? You said you like the current format or something?
That was old news, man. That's 5 minutes ago.
Oh, see,
Yeah,
We're talking about,
you
we're
just
talking
asked me
about all of them.
what version of the chase or the playoffs do I like most. And I like the current system the best.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Darren, yeah, we're about to be ending it here. I don't know what took you so long, but
yeah. Sorry, that I just got a text. My mom was like, "Hey, really quick, they need to come check your air conditioner." I was like, I'm kind of busy." I'm like,
You're
kind of busy at the moment.
Mom?
Air
But yeah.
conditioning in Las Vegas got to be important, though. That's a top priority.
For
Yeah,
sure.
the air conditioning went out in the main house, so it's like super hot over there.
Overheating.
Oh, that's
your
rough.
overheating computer.
Oh yeah, like last night. Yeah, it was overheating. So yeah, everything's overheating, I guess.
Oh man.
Kid from Georgia in the chat keeps wanting to know. He keeps asking, kind of, how did you? You kind of went into it a little bit, I guess, but how did you really get started doing photography? You kind of mentioned it earlier, Daylon, but
Yeah, so I've for Darlington 2015, that was the first throwback race. That was my first time I had a hot pass. To that point, I never picked up a digital camera. Like never. Like 100% never. My mom had one. It was just like a little basic, $500 low-end DSLR, and I said, "Hey mom, mail me down your camera so I can take pictures while I'm, got this hot pass." And that was how it started. I still got the pictures. I look back at them quite often and like think about how far I've come. But since then, it's been a lot of asking people. Like I look towards other people on their techniques, and I follow a whole bunch of creative people on Instagram and other photographers. It's mainly bouncing things off of other people and like asking them, hey, how do I do this? Like I saw this picture. How can I, get this technique to make it come out this way? And then, most people are more reluctant to help me. They've been really supportive and that sort of thing. So I'm all self-taught since 2015. I don't know if all of you guys have seen my photos or work or not. You can follow me on Instagram at Bar Visuals. Shameless plug. But I feel like I've come a long way. I still have a lot to learn. But that's essentially how it started. I still have yet to this day to take a class or anything on photography.
Well, see, I definitely appreciate all completely self-taught because that's how I am. I studied hospitality and tourism in college. I didn't learn any kind of video production and just taught myself that on my own as well. So I definitely can appreciate that. I do have one question here to come over in the chat here, and it kind of confused me. Maybe you know it more better than I do. CH Productions 14. You probably know him as Caleb Hoffman in that group that we're in. He said, did the ambulance ever reach you yesterday, Daylon? Like, what's going on with that?
Okay, so on Twitter yesterday, I was at the autograph session for the truck series drivers in the multi-purpose building at Eldora Speedway, and Eldora Speedway Social, one of their social girls, took a panorama of the autograph session. And I was standing right in the middle, and I must have been moving or something like that. And so in the picture, I'm like 4 feet wide. Like my back is just my shoulders are just like 4 feet wide. And so I quote tweeted and I said, "Why am I 4 feet wide?" And Caleb replied to me, he's like, "Do you need an ambulance?" And I'm like, "Yes, please." And he's like, "Okay, it's on its way from Charlotte. It'll be there in like 5.5 hours."
Can you please send it to me on Messenger so I can pull it up?
Yeah. Let me pull up my Twitter here.
All
At
right.
Bar Visuals as well. Shameless plug.
I will make sure to follow you. I'm gonna put it in the chat too. Runnings Racing, you did not miss, Bobby. That is next week.
Yeah,
I'll put it in the chat too for anyone who's just.
I beat you to it there. Just
What is that? Like the 5th time we said this tonight?
yeah. No, people are anxious. My goodness.
Yeah.
I'm really
no worries,
excited
next
for you
week.
guys, though.
What do we miss?
Oh,
We're having Bobby Allison on next week. So
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you're the opening act. No pressure.
Yeah, I'm glad that you put me before him because I don't know how I'd be able to follow up to that.
We're trying to figure out a way to follow it up.
All right. So I'm about to show everybody the picture that he's referring to.
Oh God.
Let's see this.
Is there a way I can see the chat? Is it on YouTube?
Yeah.
So
Danny's
So
show.
yeah, there he is right in the middle. You can't miss him. That is some serious back and neck issues going on here.
You look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Dude, baby got back for real.
Oh man.
Hey, can you really quick say your Twitter? I'm gonna follow you really quick.
At Barr BARR visuals.
I just realized I wasn't really presenting on me, so everyone else can maybe get a chance to see it better. So there it is in case people didn't really get a chance to see it in the stream here. But that's definitely pretty good right there.
yeah.
That's amazing.
They definitely yeeted me.
Is that Norm Benning's car right there?
Yeah, they have Norm Benning's truck from when he battled with what's his name, Clay Greenfield for that last chance position a couple years back. So Tony has that truck sitting in that multi-purpose building.
Who's sprint car is that back there?
I think it's just an Eldora Speedway sprint car.
Okay.
You might see. I see
back-
Benning's tires flat.
Yeah, all the tires were flat on all those shows. except for the sprint
You
car.
might think it's a joke, but I'm actually a Norm Benning fan. So
Are you?
yeah, so it's pretty cool to see.
Did you see his interview the other night? Last
No,
night?
I didn't get a
He got
chance to.
interviewed. Can you pull up that picture one more time?
Yeah, hold on a second.
Sorry, I don't mean to be.
Hey, my Cubs are beating the Cardinals right now, 6-4, top of the 7th. All
Hey.
right.
I don't watch
All
basketball.
right.
Yeah, same. I don't watch it either.
All right. So here's that picture again.
Okay, so there in the back left, you can see like the nose of another truck over there.
Back
Oh, yeah.
left.
Oh
That's-
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a Dodge. And someone I saw on Twitter yesterday, someone quote tweeted and said like Stuart Haas racing to Dodge in the Truck Series confirmed.
Ooh. I don't know about that.
that could, yeah.
That's still just such a funny image there. I appreciate Caleb for bringing it up.
In the chat, the man with the plan says the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah, I got a few of those tweets yesterday.
Oh, that's awesome though. That's really good. I did that once. I did a panorama during a truck race, and you just see all these warped trucks that like
Yeah.
are 30 feet wide, like long.
Every now and then I'll see someone that'll like post a panel of them being at a racetrack, and depending on the direction they go, it's either the cars are really freaking long or the cars are really like tiny. I particularly like when the cars are really tiny, like micro cars looking like clown cars, and if I see it, I'll retweet it. I freaking lose it. I lose it.
Danny, that image should be the thumbnail for this stream once it goes up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Might just have to do that. Like, just get it zoomed in on that.
Yeah.
Someone was like, "Damn, baby, you thick."
But that is like the little thing on the bottom, like in text. Just put, "Damn, baby, you thick."
I saw in the chat we had Newman levels of thick, so I don't know that I think it's a compliment.
His neck on Newman.
Nick Sant says Dalen's thicker than Mike Harmon.
Jesus.
Oh man.
We've
I
gotten a
love
little off topic, but that's fun.
Oh yeah, sorry. I just that picture was freaking funny. And Caleb was funny. He's like, "I'll send you the influence."
That's good.
All right, here's one that I actually got here. Hold on, let me try to pull it up here better. I don't know. I think it'd be fine here. Let me screen share. This is something that I took at a race one time that I thought was pretty funny to have. Let me screen share real fast. I got this one in a dirt track race at my track one time.
What the hell?
Like, this guy happened to be walking through at the right time with his nachos, and it's like scientists have finally created a perfect NASCAR fan.
It's a glitch in the
What's up?
simulation.
Dude, what's up with his moves there?
Oh man.
Like,
I'm like, geez.
like I said, it's the perfect fan.
That's
Looks
amazing.
like-
That's amazing, honestly.
I'm gonna have to make
Hollywood.
I'm gonna have to make a thumbnail of this guy and Daylon and just do it perfectly like that.
I like Keith. I like Sherm's comment, and he's beautiful.
Oh yeah, good old Keithy Sherman.
That's man. Thinnest man alive, perfect fan, lol.
That's
Yeah,
an
we
interesting
go-
question.
We
What
go.
is?
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what is like for all of us? What is like the most interesting fan you've seen at a NASCAR race? Because I know I have an answer.
Oh,
Okay, there was one year I was at Bristol, and there was literally a guy cosplaying as Matt Kenseth, walking around in a full fire suit, having the hat. He was carrying around the helmet, and you saw him so much for the entire day. It's like you cannot miss this guy.
I think
Oh no, you go ahead.
mine's got to be the guy that goes to Martinsville that wears the full Dale Earnhardt get up.
No, he goes to everywhere. I see him at Bristol too.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
then yeah, Bristol too. He's got to be my favorite.
Yeah, I have seen him a lot. So
I can remember
maybe
one
when
guy
I'm-
specifically. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I can remember one guy specifically that was like when I went to Indianapolis in 2007. This isn't an interesting fan actually. This maybe isn't a good one, but I just thought of it. I think I might have told this story in here, but there was a guy during the national anthem, probably in his mid 40s, like while the national anthem was playing, everyone's standing. He is like shouting at his friend into his phone. Like you can hear him across multiple sections. He's shouting at him about where he needs to park his car. And it was like this is a NASCAR race. You better believe people were giving him dirty looks, and I don't blame him. But I just remember that guy stood out. But yeah, I don't.
During the national anthem.
Yeah, like you got the bombs, the fireworks in the background. You gotta park behind the Whataburger, not the Dairy Queen, the Whataburger. You heard the whole time.
It really do be like that.
There's this one guy every year we go to Chicagoland in the infield. The dude's name's like we call him Bubba. Like, and this is like long before Bubba Wallace is around. Like this is but
Bubba.
big dude. Like this dude's like 5'6", but I mean it's like big gut, And he's walking around with this mug, and it's like I swear to God, it's twice of these. Like just think of this, and then another one beside it. That's how wide it is. And we're like, one day we're like, hey Bubba, what's in that? It's like here it is.
I just want
to whiskey into it.
I just want to apologize to the chat because I had it focused on me for so long. It was just on me while everyone else was talking.
Anyway,
Someone in the chat has I'm going to Bristol this fall. I just want to say yeah, I am.
Hey, you're gonna have to say me. I'll be there.
I go anywhere
well-
the trucks go.
We'll all be there. 2019. At least we're planning on it.
ITT Bristol meetup. 2019.
Hey, I'm probably gonna go to all three of the races. So if you're there, we need to meet up.
Where's that? Oh, Bristol. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there.
You need to, if you can anyway, you need to get me where I can like experience what you're talking about earlier. The cars going by. I'd love to experience that just once.
Maybe.
If you can, just for like one time.
They're really strict about that stuff. I mean, they don't even let. So there's two photographers at each track, basically, essentially. It's NASCAR Productions Green Vest photographers, and then there's local media that's credentialed through the track. And certain tracks, they don't even allow the local photographers, the local media, to shoot on the outside of the track. So they're really strict and odd about that stuff.
What is your favorite track to shoot at? What like gives you the best angles, the best views?
That's a tough one. Can we come back to that?
Sure. Sleep on it if you have to.
I gotta think about that. I gotta look through some photo galleries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm assuming you visit a lot of tracks across the NASCAR circuit. Like maybe like what's the best one you've been to, and I guess what's the worst one?
Okay. I absolutely freaking love Homestead, Miami. Well, I shouldn't say mainly, but part of it is because it's the last race of the year and I'm finally done. But it's so unique and so different. Watkins Glen, because that's my home track. I love it. I love road courses because they shoot so well from a photography standpoint. I love Darlington. Darlington's fun. That's about 50 minutes from my house down here in Myrtle Beach. Kentucky shoots really well from a photography standpoint. The track I hate the most probably is Talladega. You could drop a bomb there and do like $40 million worth of improvement. Like that, you're better off being on frickin' Mars when you go to Talladega.
I noticed.
Um,
Oh yeah, no, you go ahead.
Kid from Georgia in the chat was asking, Daylon, would starting shooting at my local dirt track be a good way to learn?
Absolutely. Anytime you can have a camera in your hand is a good way to learn, man. Never say no to an opportunity to get out and go shoot. Never. Like, man, anytime I can go to a dirt track or something, just have the camera in my hand, just to have fun and, kick back and do that. I do. It's one of my favorite things to do is go back to my dirt tracks in New York and shoot. Get to hang out with all the people I know and all my friends and that sort of stuff.
Now, how many different NASCAR races do you get an opportunity to shoot at and take pictures during a given year?
So I'm full-time on the truck schedule. And any time that they run with Xfinity, I also shoot the Xfinity race. Anytime that ARCA is there, I shoot the ARCA race. And then I will do select Xfinity and Cup races. I shoot all 4 Super Speedway races for Beard Oil Motorsports and Brendan Gaughan in the 62. So I got those 4, plus, the trucks go to, and Xfinity go to them. So those are the spring Talladega is one of the Xfinity races I go to. I go to Richmond. I go to the first Dover this year. I don't go to the second Dover this year. I'd probably say about 30 races this year.
Okay, so that's quite a bit.
Because there's what, 23 truck races, and there's 4 or 5 standalones, I think, where they're away from Cup.
So you were in Chicagoland this year?
I was.
Dude, like maybe we need to set it up at some point next year because I'm gonna be there again. I want to meet you.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm always open to it.
Will you ever be in the infield? Because I go outside the track too. So
I go outside the track there. That's actually one of the best outside shooting spots that they have because the wall is there's Rim Road goes all the way around, and it's right to the top of the wall. So the pavement's like right on top of the wall. So you're essentially standing on top of the wall, shooting down on top of the cars, and they fly like right underneath your feet when they're going into turn 1. So that's badass. Other than that aspect of Chicago, I hate shooting there. And it's really freaking hot. Like it was on Friday. That Friday it was like 113 degree heat index. I drank 19 bottles of Gatorade and I didn't pee.
Dude, I was streaming that day and I was like, everyone's like, "You're so red." I'm like, "You don't understand.
It was so hot.
What about?
And they make us wear pants.
Oh, they still have that policy for you guys? Because I know in the garage area they changed it.
For photographers, you have to wear pants, closed-toed shoes, shirts with sleeves, short sleeves. So yeah, and they always mention that it's strongly encouraged that we wear fire suits when shooting on pit road.
Jeez.
Damn, that's really hot.
That whole weekend was so hot. That would suck. Good job. Good job.
I didn't go to the care center, so that's a win in my book.
Hey, you did better than Blaney and Harvick all weekend. And Chase Elliott.
and Brett Moffitt won, so that was pretty cool. I always like going to victory lane.
You said earlier, I thought it was interesting when we said what was your favorite tracks. You mentioned Darlington, What were the other two? You mentioned a couple others that I noted
Watkins
were
Glen, Miami.
okay. Miami, Darlington. Those are typically night races. Is there something more fun about shooting night races than day races?
I can do a lot of more. I can do a lot more stuff shutter speed wise during night races. I can get really slow on the shutter, so like I'd be taking pans at like half a second or like a quarter of a second and stuff. When it's really bright in the daytime, I can only stop so much light from coming into my camera when I want to shoot slow, so I can't do as much creative stuff like that. So I do like shooting night races. Plus, you get some spark spray every now and then, and that comes out pretty cool.
Ooh, yeah.
There's all sorts of lights and stuff around the track to make streaks in the pictures, so I like that. Not so much in the daytime. But then, at night, you don't get the colors of certain things around the track. Like, I'm trying to think of a good place. Iowa's pretty cool during the day because when you pan across the grandstands, you get blue and yellow streaks in there because there's no one in the stands. And you can actually see the color of the stands, but at nighttime you can't see the color of the stands in your pans as well because it's nighttime, it's dark.
Tyler asked in the chat, how's Texas and Kansas for shooting?
Texas sucks. There's a catch fence around the entirety of the inside of the track, and it's like miserable to shoot through.
Yeah.
And Kansas.
Oh, what about Vegas?
Kansas is fun. Vegas is cool because the yellow wall.
Yeah.
They got some really good colors. They had it was a Pennzoil 400 and panning across the trioval grass made some really cool lines and colors and stuff. So I really liked Vegas.
There's a question from Nicholas Blair asks, what camera do you use?
I have 3 cameras. I have a Nikon D4S, which is a professional grade camera body. They're going secondhand used right now for about $3,500. I have a Nikon D750 as my backup camera. It's retail new at about $1,500 right now. And then I have a Nikon D7200, which is a crop frame. You can pick them up used all day, $700. For anyone that wants a beginner camera, I'd recommend going with like a 7200 because you can get a lot out of that camera for the price.
Nice. That answers Kid from Georgia's for the most part. I think he's asking also like budget, but so how much would that cost for him if he would get that?
The D7200, I'll sell him mine for $600 right now.
There you go. Way to connect y'all.
It's not that much. 600.
We're making dreams come true here.
Someone asked me who I shoot for in Xfinity. I shoot for Tommy Joe Martins. I love working with Tommy Joe. He's freaking great. I shoot for Josh Bilicki too. And I was shooting for JGL before they.
Yeah, before that awkward mess.
Yeah.
So real quick, I want to share something for you guys here. I'm going to present it on me, and I will take it off of me this time. But I'm going to go ahead and share with y'all the completed thumbnail for after this video.
Oh boy.
Oh damn, that was quick.
Here we go.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
That's some solid clickbait right there.
You gotta do like top 10 something that scientists can't explain.
I don't know. This works for me. It's just top 10. I don't know. Yeah, scientists cannot explain these images.
Top 10 NASCAR anomalies scientists can't explain.
Yeah.
That's right.
Not clickbait. Not clickbait.
That's great.
Oh, how do I get my thing to shuffle the cameras again?
Huh?
What did I do? Ignore me.
Done.
If it's like on the Hangout, you might be accidentally presenting somebody. So if somebody has like a white outline around their
Yeah, they do.
It only
hit that and it won't.
it only presents it if like I'm doing it. So like that time forever was on me. Yeah, that's what happened.
Well, you
Well,
can present somebody else if you accidentally click on them. So if they have the white box around them, all you have to do is click on them again, and it'll stop presenting them.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no problem. It's all good.
Someone said the double spine man and slender man.
Good comparison.
JGL, I see in the chat some people are talking about JGL. That was actually really cool people to work for. Dylan Lupton is actually a pretty nice guy. It's a shame that what happened, but a lot of it was caused by the owner of JGL having some cancer stuff going on.
And also, just really quick, who was running their Twitter? That was
I don't know. I have no idea.
like they announced I think they announced that Kaz Gralla was gonna be let go, but then
Yeah, they
minutes
clapped.
later, they were like clapped back like, what, we have better news like or something. I was like, oh my goodness, that was so bad. Oh man.
Yes, the TSA still hates me, by the way. I think that's CH Productions 14. I've every time I go to the airport now, TSA will open my suitcase and check everything in my bag. They've rummaged through my suitcase seven flights in a row. So like
Oh wow.
return trips and like initial trips and return trips. So it's like annoying.
I bet. God, that's like.
That is annoying.
At this point, you're probably just like, here we go again.
Yeah, I actually I have it sitting right here next to me. I just bought a Pelican case, which is like a professional hard case for like photographers, and I accidentally bought the wrong size, so I have like a 4-foot by 3-foot case sitting here for like my small amount of gear, and I gotta send it back. It's like massive. It's like half my queen size bed.
I know other people leaving what questions
Very
about
big
your-
gay. Oh my god.
Hey, you're in the chat.
Carnation is he's just everywhere. It's incredible.
Who is that?
What incarnation?
Because I have a meme on my phone that says that.
Wow.
Yeah, I know he's literally every time we upload something, he's the first to comment.
Yeah,
I'm just laughing.
pretty much.
I'm laughing
Love
because
it.
he's literally everywhere, including on your phone for some reason.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
That's
I didn't
awesome.
think of that. That's
And
crazy.
watch, he's gonna make a video about this tonight. Probably upload it.
Probably. Hey, if you want the greatest clips from these streams, you go to What Incarnation. So
Yeah, just subscribe to him.
What did I come back to? All I see is big gay.
We're at the 2-hour mark of the stream. This is where things usually spiral
Yeah.
out of control.
Well, the chat had been
This is
pretty
where-
dead all night, and then it's
Yeah.
like just now it just started sparking up. And it's like that's the chat I know.
we do good for 2 hours, and then we become
And then it's like,
the rated R version.
I've also been awake for like almost 36 hours here now, so
Good.
things are starting to like blur.
Is that common to go that long without sleeping? Or is it just as an anomaly?
This is just a weird one because I scheduled. I picked the 5:30 a.m. flight out of Dayton, Ohio, so I didn't even get a hotel room last night.
Wow.
oh, wow.
Yeah. So plus I have a second job here back in Myrtle Beach. So I worked that tonight, so it was miserable.
Oh, you're from Myrtle Beach?
That's where I live now. Yeah, that's what my driver license says.
Oh, I'm just curious. Have you ever been to the Myrtle Beach Speedway? I know they used to have Busch
Yeah.
Series races there.
Oh yeah. It's a cool place. It's like a mile from my house.
Yeah, they should
I went
really
there
put that back on the
for-
schedule.
For the modified tour.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
I'm
you're
trying
like,
to
oh,
keep up
Myrtle
with the
Beach.
chat questions.
Yeah, I think on that note, we're 2 hours into this. I think on this note, we can just like spend 15 minutes talking to chat if y'all want to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
sure.
What does Daylon think of the Daytona Xfinity finish? I think JJ Haley got yeeted.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Justin Haley?
JJ Haley.
Justin. Oh.
He used to be called JJ. Yeah, he used to
really?
be called JJ, but
Remember, this is a guy who probably knows him better than us.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Oh, yeah, duh, that's right. I was like, wait, JJ Haley.
he was JJ, and then there's JJ Yaley. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
He rebranded himself.
I said it like this. I feel so bad for Justin Haley right now because it seems like his career has so many bad luck things. Because when he won, Fox was just like they yeeted him. They yeeted him out of the interview, and then NASCAR was like, "Give me that back." So,
Nicholas Blair, I am freaking out with you, man. It's a Star Wars: The Clone Wars coming back. 11-year-old me is freaking out. Yep.
Nerds. Those are nerds.
Finish what's big.
Hey, so I
What
have a
have I
question for you.
done? I've created a meme.
Yeah, so
We
speaking of
create a meme
memes,
every week on here.
so speaking of memes, I have a question for you. So, what are your thoughts on the current NASCAR driver meme? The official meme of NASCAR, Ty Dillon. What are your thoughts on him?
Wait, why is he the
Jeez.
official meme of NASCAR?
Like like basically 29th. That's like his position. Like there's 28, and then Ty Dillon's position, then 30th. So
Right,
it's like a meme now.
Funny. I just want to make a funny comment about Ty Dillon. I call him Chin Guy.
That's another meme. Chin Guy. That's another nickname. Chin Guy.
You don't say that to his face, I hope. Or maybe he's just really nice and lets you do it.
No, we've only come in contact like twice. I was.
Hey, Dylan Smith put something up on Twitter where he ran up and just grabbed Tony Stewart's butt. So I don't know. Anything's possible. So
Yeah.
Right.
Did you ever watch? Okay, like since you're around our age,
Chin Guy's video.
you know the Fairly Odd Parents, the hero in that.
Yes, the Crimson Chin.
Oh,
That's
I was
rough.
like, I gotta say it.
Wow.
You should do that for Halloween just to show it's like I got a good sense of humor, guys.
We're giving RawGator here a lot of good ideas for future videos.
Yeah, you really are.
I am
Hey,
so
buddy.
sorry.
taking notes over there.
How about we get away from the chat a little bit?
This is a bad choice.
Really quick for our actual basically meme, we have 97 watching and only 92 likes. Lick the like button, people. Come on, we can get to 100.
Someone
That's our
said I
thing,
was the
lick the like
official
button.
meme. Someone said I was the meme of the podcast.
The official meme.
You
I'll
were
take
the yeah, John Deere. He
Yeah,
said
John Deere.
He said
I
John
pressed
Deere
like.
wrong last week.
Yeah, I did say.
He was so convinced that that's how it's pronounced.
Yeah, I mean, I know how to say Porsche and all that stuff, but John Deere. I said Deere. I can't believe I said that.
We are at 100 likes. Good job.
Wow.
Oh,
impressive.
nice.
We say dance, they say how high.
Okay.
Wow, you're gonna talk to him like that? They're like, okay, bye. I ain't dancing. For you. I ain't your monkey. I ain't dancing for you.
God, poor she. No, like Darian has actually been the subject of many of our memes. Like,
Yeah.
Ultimate 23 Dragon. That's a meme.
Have you ever heard of? Just a quick question. Have you ever heard of Ultimate 23 Dragon on YouTube?
No.
Good. All right, good. Let's keep it that way.
Listen, I don't do a lot of YouTube. I have my plate so full of everything that I don't have a lot of time to do anything.
Oh, good. So by default, we're his favorite YouTubers. Good job, guys.
Yeah, awesome.
Sweet.
Did I just offend you guys?
No.
No.
There are 7 billion people in the world, and I think we have a market of maybe 0.0000001%
Yeah,
of them.
we are such a small niche that is. We're trying to build this niche out of like nothing. So
Yeah.
Come on, there's NASCAR Reddit out there. We having someone who doesn't know who we are is okay compared to them.
Well, I mean, you guys
That's
are doing better than like Arca's social media. So
Or,
Oh,
not
yes,
Reddit,
yes.
David Land, I should say.
Dude, they like tweet out every like 6 months.
yeah. Do you guys know?
Yes.
I probably shouldn't say it. Never mind.
No.
Actually, you know what? I don't care. Do you guys know who's doing their PR now?
No.
Arca, the orange cone.
Really?
Really?
wow.
Wow.
didn't
Jeez.
know that.
That is so surprising considering how good that they do on their personal account.
Yeah. You think they would up their ARCA content?
Maybe it's a part-time
Speaking-
gig.
Speaking
Yeah.
of kind of Twitter personalities, I got to ask: have you? And you don't have to say like who he is or like show his real face or anything like that. But have you ever met NASCAR Chasm?
I've seen him. I have not talked to him.
Okay. I'm
I
like
know
sitting there,
Dylan's
like,
Dylan's
I-
met him.
I have talked to the Orange Cone.
okay.
Mm.
I'm always wondering. It's like, have I ever seen NASCAR Chasm and I just don't know about it? It's
You
like,
probably have.
I need
Yeah,
to get like
probably
people,
have.
I need to get people from 4chan to see his pictures and based on the trajectory of the moon and the sun, tell me where he's at. Because I think they'd be good with that. They're pretty much like, they're good at finding people.
I really
They're
feel
on Shia LaBeouf's flag.
NASCAR Sarcasm. If he wanted to, he could probably take his talents, bring it over to YouTube, still hide his face, but do really well.
Oh, I'd love to have him on as a guest sometime.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
We should,
He
we
probably-
should-
Just like, well, I mean, he could be like how Daylon is here, not even have to show his face, but
well,
Yeah.
I think it'd be funny as if just to keep the meme going of no one knows who or like who he is and everything is like change his voice like one of those interviews so he has like the really low voice like this
Yeah.
the whole time. He's like a Kylo Ren voice.
I mean, some people last week never saw who Ultimate Dragon 23 looked like, so that was kind of a face reveal last week too.
I'm really. This is actually a legitimate thought that I've had. If years down the line, if someone who like revolutionizes like the way people see NASCAR in a way, like NASCAR Chasm and his Twitter stuff, if one day that could make it into like the Hall of Fame some way in like a weird way. Like, just think about it, like 40, 60 years down the road, that you never know.
Did
Yeah.
did you see Danica's monologue?
Yeah, I was about to ask that.
No, I didn't. I was
I went-
at Eldora.
Yeah, I went back and watched on YouTube.
I was doing dirt track things with my dirt track friends.
Like Danica can't win anything. Like, she couldn't win the audience at the ESPYs, and now
Oh, God.
she can win a race. Like, gosh,
She was
Jesus has
working
no
with
luck.
She was working with a rough crowd at the ESPYs.
I think-
She's
I think-
trying to make jokes in a room full of a bunch of people who can't laugh at themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly think that, and you guys might like really freaking think I'm crazy for this, but I think Danica's going to the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
I mean,
Have we had that discussion on the podcast yet? Have we really gotten in depth on this debate? Because I feel
we
like
haven't really gotten in depth on it, but I do kind of agree because I don't know. It's technically right now she is the best woman that there's ever been. But
Haley Deegan, hurry up and get good in
Yes,
cup.
Haley Diggin, please.
See that I don't think she will because I think NASCAR sees a lot of the young, like the other drivers in ARCA and K&N and stuff, and they're like, there's some good female drivers there that in the next 5 or so years could be racing Xfinity or even Cup and maybe are gonna be better. So I don't think
they were
they're
hyping.
Yeah,
I
well,
was just
TRD is gonna push one up. So
Dude,
Yeah.
they were hyping up the 4 female drivers today on Twitter. I think it was like NASCAR and NBC. Like, oh, well, these 4 have a shot. Like, Deegan's probably the only realistic one who will get into the Cup Series soon. Decker, that's a long shot. And then, who was that other female?
Tony
drove the 50
Breidinger.
Yeah, like, she's really good in USAC, but like in ARCA, I remember
Well,
that
I mean-
Chicagoland race. She was like 2 laps down or 3 laps down.
I mean, so I just want to talk about that USAC thing a little bit, and I'm not gonna like discount her talent because I think she's great for the sport. But like, yeah, she's like the only female to win a USAC race, but there's only like 7 cars or something like that.
Oh, see? Well, you got inside. I didn't know that, so.
Yeah, it's out in California, I think is where it was. Drake was telling me about that,
Oh.
yeah,
or
I
maybe it was Mark. I think it was Mark.
really need to get Diego on one of these sometimes. If you ever really heard of him, he's not so much on YouTube as he used to be, but 18 Diego DD, he used to be like a big inspiration to me in the NASCAR YouTube world.
A lot
Yeah,
of
he's a good
people
friend.
were. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
He's a good friend of mine.
Yeah,
guess-
same for me.
A lot of the chat was talking about Carson Elledge moving up and stuff. I don't know. What are your guys'
How
thoughts
old,
on
how
that?
old is she now?
I thought that they
17.
kind of like put her stuff on halt for a little bit.
I think
Yeah.
she's like a senior in high school.
Well, she's
Wow.
about to go to college, I think.
I
I
thought
don't
she was
know
still
about
like
that.
15,
Maybe that's
16. I'm so behind.
People are asking who Mark is. If that's the same Mark I'm thinking of, he was actually on our stream for a little bit yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My dad
Remember,
was sending me. He's like, "Who is Mark?" I'm just like,
Marcus P.
he was the one who said my videos were cancer.
Yeah, but and then me and him have like not gotten along in the past, but now
Yeah,
we're cool,
like I
so,
talked to him. Yeah, I talked to him. He's a cool guy though.
Yeah.
Oh man.
"Oh yeah," and then they're saying how David Land recently competed in the USAC Battle of the Brickyard.
Yeah, we talked to him
Daddy was
about
telling us
that.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, finished
I'm like-
38 out of 57, I think. Not bad.
Something like that. For a first race.
I can't wait to have him back on. That'd be
Mhm.
that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Hell, depending on how a season goes, I might do a good seasons or a bad seasons video on him. So we'll see.
Don't start that meme again.
Oh gosh.
That was one of the memes that started up as
Wait.
like NASCAR busts, and then they just add in something.
Please
Yeah.
don't ever do like a go-kart bus David Land.
That would be funny.
Do it for April Fool's Day or something.
I was gonna do a NASCAR bust on Dewey Ryder pretty soon.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. Just because I saw something in the chat from Jared Edwards. What kind of music do you guys listen to?
It just depends on what it depends on what my mood is. Sometimes I do listen to country radio. Sometimes I'll want to hear something more like a rock type music. I don't know. Like it just depends on what I'm doing. So
I guess there's different kinds of. I mean, I listen to alternative, and my mom's from Virginia, so I listen to some country and stuff. But I guess there's different types of rap. If I'm in a sad mood, I'll just put on some Earl Sweatshirt. But if I'm in like a happy mood, I'll just put on like some Tyler the Creator and stuff.
So you guys haven't done like the In My Feelings challenge yet?
I've heard about that, but I haven't done it.
I've heard about that.
What is it exactly? Enlighten us.
It's the one Drake song, and there's like a somewhat semi-choreographed dance that people are doing all over on Twitter with.
Oh no,
It's
I'm
like-
not doing that.
The song that goes, Kiki, do you love me? Are you
No,
right?
yeah. I do.
I just,
Well, we got to keep with the meme trends from the chat. So no, that's yeah.
I'm trying to
NASCAR
keep up.
Cool
Yeah.
does YouTube.
You're learning quick. You've really bought into you figured out the mentality of the show very quick. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
My entire life is one giant meme. So I get it.
so
I get it.
well, I mean, look at how huge your back is. So
My tweet was, I literally quote tweeted it in all caps. It said, "Why am I 4 feet wide?" And it got like 15 retweets and some like 170 likes or something like that. And like, why are you guys liking this? Like,
That's awesome.
IDK player thinks I listen to slow jazz.
you'll have to look on SRJ later, Daylon. I put up that picture in there.
okay.
Oh man, slow jazz is not on my not on the table most of the time.
I can't tell now what in the chat is an actual
Oh, my
line or
gosh.
if it's just a line from a song. I can't tell what I'm looking at.
You
anymore.
like jazz?
Danny looks like a Monster Jam driver.
I want more questions. Give me more questions. Lil Uzi Vert is my queen.
I'm gonna screenshot something that come on my Twitter here, and you guys will like it after tonight.
Nice.
Hold on here.
Wait, are you? Oh, your screen share.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold up. Let me see.
Yeah, chill. I don't look like Bob Ross. I don't.
Oh my gosh, I'm about to retweet that.
Oh, I'm totally retweeting that.
That's really good.
Dylan, he can't catch a break, man.
Eric Keplinger, you're awesome, man.
That's awesome.
You're awesome.
I love our fans. I love our fans so much.
This is amazing.
Yep.
Oh, living the meme. Oh,
That's awesome.
Always a win. Oh.
Well, I think on that note, it might be a good time to go ahead and start shutting it down.
Yeah, start wrapping it up.
Yeah, we're hitting that
sad.
window. We have an after show like where it's just us and the.
Yeah, so don't run off because we'll stick around and talk for a few minutes.
Okay.
Oh, should we show them that? Oh, well, I won't say it. I'll just say it.
Shush.
Oh man.
All right, so
Push me to the edge. This stream is dead.
So, let's talk to our other guest who was here with us for the first half of it, and he's still here, but he's just been kind of quiet. RawGator, go ahead and mention all your stuff.
Shout yourself out.
Well, you know, I do NASCAR meme videos and other kind of compilations on the side. I have some series on my channel that you might like. My, I guess, most popular is a series called NASCAR Savage Interviews, which I have a ton of fun making. So if you just like to see drivers maybe roast the media, roast other drivers, go check that one out. That's just one of my favorites. But I'm most commonly known for the NASCAR meme videos I do.
Yeah. So where can people follow you on like Twitter and stuff?
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RawGatorYT, and then obviously YouTube is just RawGator.
Sweet deal.
Yeah.
Sweet. Let's go to our other guest. Where can we find you, man?
I will not shamelessly plug it this time since you're asking me for it. On Twitter and Instagram, I'm at Barr Visuals, BARR Visuals, all one word. And post a lot of my content and inside the behind the scenes sort of looks about all this NASCAR stuff that I do photography wise on my Instagram. You know, from shooting from the outside of the track, locations like that. If you guys want to go on my Instagram, I have in the highlight story section on my profile called I Love My Job, and it's some of the cool highlights spots that I get to shoot from. Some of the cool stuff I do. So Instagram's probably my most content platform if you want to see like inside stuff, but then Twitter is just where I mean that sort of stuff and roast NASCAR. So I really enjoy Twitter. There was a girl that dumped me because I was too addicted to Twitter.
Goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
I've
never heard that before.
It really do be like that sometimes.
I never heard that before.
Yeah. She asked me, she's like, why haven't you, why are you on Twitter and not texting me back?
Oh my gosh.
And then I tweeted again.
You got to at least tweet at her.
See, no, like, here's the thing. I really do love my fiance of how like understanding she is of me and what I'm doing here on YouTube. Like, she's actually probably my number one supporter, number one fan. I do love her for
you
that.
love Twitter more.
Oh my gosh. Like, oh no, you got to be understanding of people when it's like part of like what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a big part of my job and like marketing and things like that. Like, a lot goes into it, posting my photos on Twitter and getting people to retweet them. Actually, if you guys could go and retweet my pin tweet, I'd be much appreciative. It's sort of my
let's go here.
My marketing thing there. I don't know if you can.
IDK really quick said no one gets off until Gator says right on, right on.
You know what?
Come on, man.
This is only something I said like 2 times when we streamed together, so I don't know where this whole big deal came from. It's not like a catchphrase or anything.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not saying it. Okay, I'm just saying.
Oh man.
We can let IDK's world end.
Sorry, IDK.
All right. Well, since we're doing outros, I guess I'll start with the main panel here. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Go subscribe to my channel, Black Flags Matter. New championship seasons video out this either tomorrow or you know what? No. I'll take that back. New championship seasons video out this Saturday. And I told the guys who it was going to be already, and it's the driver we're going to have on next week. So you guys already know who it is. And yeah, go subscribe to everyone else's channels as well. So I guess that about wraps it up. thank you guys so much for watching. This is Black Flags Matter. Catch you next time.
And I'm Eric from I'm Eric Estepp. I guess I always forget that I've changed my channel, just my name. But you guys can go subscribe over there. Uploaded another Out of the Groove earlier this week where I talked about the heck did I talk about? Oh, I talked about the Eldora race as well as the Charlotte Roval test, which I know we didn't get that much into today, but that race looks like it's going to be mayhem in a few months. So definitely interested in how that turns out. But follow me on Twitter at Dex Racing, Instagram Eric Estepp, all that jazz. Thank you guys. We just hit the biggest milestone a YouTuber can hit. 69,000 subscribers.
Nice.
Well done.
If I was really feeling saucy, I'd dab on y'all, but not today. So
Please do it for me.
no,
Everybody type nice in the chat right now.
yeah, but no, seriously, in all honesty, thank you guys so much for that. It's incredible, and hopefully we can hopefully we can get to 70,000. Hopefully someday soon, so I'm not stuck at 69 forever. But
Hey,
thanks, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody.
So you want me to go?
I was just going to say something real fast. I do hate that we didn't get a chance to talk about the Roval stuff too much. Remind us next week, and we'll try to touch up on it. It is look like it's going to be a meme race this year. So
It is going to be. It's a meme already.
All right. So that leaves me. Yep, I'm the Iceberg. Subscribe to my channel, please. I'm getting really close. I'm I think like in the 830s, so getting close to that 1,000. Remember, when I hit 1,000, I get to upload a reaction of me suffering through 50 Shades of Grey for the first time. So
I still say you need to stream it. That way we can just watch you suffer.
yeah, but I don't want to get hit with copyright raise to hit 1,000. So follow me on Twitter at IceTitan80. That's capital I, capital T, an 8 and a 0 at the end of it. God, next week, Bobby Allison, July 26th. 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific. You can figure out the rest from there, wherever else you live. Bobby Allison will be on, 10, 15-minute interview. He's going to be calling, I'm going to call him. So that's just, I keep saying this story is like, I got a call from him. I got this phone because I had to jump in the pool after a 3-year-old. So my old phone got destroyed. And so I got this one. The first call I got was from Bobby Allison. So like when I'm done with this thing, it's going with the signed junior hat and never coming out. But
Why don't you get Bobby Allison to sign it once you're done with it? Just send it over and he sign this and then send it back.
maybe. But yeah, so don't be sure not to miss it. You got to be here on time though. Like we're going, you can't be on long. Got to be here at 8 Eastern Time.
Yep.
No later.
Gotta be here.
So it's always better live, right? Anyway, Thank you guys again for watching. It's been another fun stream. We're now going on the 10th minute of outro, so I should probably hand it over to Danny at this point.
Yeah. So,
Praise be to Will.
two things here. One for Jarrett. When Iceberg hits 1,000, he needs to go to a NASCAR race in just underwear, according to IDK Player.
For only 1,000? My goodness, that needs to be a bigger goal.
And also, Hamlin Fanatic 11 said before too long, Eric's going to be at 69,420 subscribers.
Carnation
awesome.
that.
And another thing, I said that you should stream it. I was just saying, like, stream your reaction, not the actual thing. So that's all I was saying. But anyways, I'm DannyBTalks. I hope everyone has had fun here tonight. We love doing this every week. The fans on this are really the greatest. No Monday night NASCAR Heat 2 for me coming up next week because I have switched over from Xbox One to PS4, so I'm trying to get all that set up. And I do need to buy NASCAR Heat 2 for PlayStation. My GameStop didn't have any copies of it.
I have an unopened copy right here. I'll mail to you.
Sure. Let's talk after the stream. That will work. That will work for me. That will work for me just fine. So there's that. So with that being said, hope everyone has had fun here. No NASCAR streaming for me. I need to work on a new video so bad. I've been so behind. Haven't got a chance to. So maybe it'll come out this weekend, maybe next week. But hey, there's been 3 streams on this channel this week. So go ahead and watch some of them if you didn't get a chance to see them all. And hope you all have a good week. And bye. Enjoy New Hampshire.